training this morning. The way he trains, I was watching him. He runs for about half a minute, and he walks for about a minute. And he continues to do that. That's not bad. Fast walking. That's not bad. Okay, it takes a bit longer, but as long as he can
Yeah?
last the course. Okay.
This other. For the camera. Okay.
That side is better, right?
Yeah, of course, this is my right. Okay, so now I feel really like important with the microphone and everything.
You'll always be important.
Yeah, but now it's like all the logistics. Okay, basically it's like just to explain how we work. We always have, when we design a building, we always have references. We try to be linked with the client, with the story of the client and everything. So in the case for the, talking about the interiors, also interiors are related with the story of all the community. So how we transmit this, these references that we are using to the interiors is like in the 5 main rooms of the building. They have a pattern, let's say in like walls or in the ceilings, something that is completely like bespoke design for the building, related or inspired to, for different patterns that compose the story of the community. So for example, for the we have the prayer hall, lecture theater, sports hall, the cafe, and then the youth center. They are related with different patterns. So then, as we want to have a really like modern and a project, a building for the future, not only for the present time. Something has to be like we are also considering like really like top references for us in terms of architecture, and we were also inspired in terms of image and materiality to these 3 buildings. 2 of them they are in London, so it's easy, you can go and visit. That is the extension of the Tate Modern, then the White Cube Gallery, and then there's like the Zurich University Library. And is this the image we want to have in our building? That is like warm materials, natural materials, but also like pure materials. So basically, it's combining like natural and simple materials, but they are really rich in itself. So we don't need to apply or add much more decoration, because when you have decoration, maybe like in 5 years' time, the style is completely old-fashioned, and then you have already an old building, and it's not the purpose. So it has to be something that has to be along the time, looking like clean, natural, warm, pure. So basically, we are thinking on timber in woods, and then also concrete in really light colors, like a modern kind of stone, and then whites and lights. So these are the 3 materiality you can see also in the samples. So we want to the warm on the timber, combined with the solids of the concrete, and also the purity of light. So if we go to these 3 spaces, you can see basically these are really simple space. So for us, it's like purity. We go to white and then polished concrete, and concrete for us is also pure because it's like transmitting the meaning of construction. So it's the way architects transfer the natural things to a building. It's like a kind of artificial rock that you are creating. So for us, has a really...
on the concrete
flooring.
So wherever I've seen concrete flooring,
so basically it's in circulations.
Tends to deteriorate with time, or
it's depending on the type of concrete you use. There is a type of concrete that you need like a maintenance. It's like if you have like marble, so you have to polish time to time, but it's really heavy duty. It's like better than if you have like other floorings. We can go to like a kind of resins. So there is like more like a continuous matte surface. So there are different options. But
it's not concrete, it's just a concrete finish.
It's not, but it's a real concrete. It's a real concrete. Yes, really concrete.
Like concrete is soft as well in terms of damage.
Well, no, it's also is depending of the process and the final finish you apply.
Okay.
Because you can polish the concrete until you see all the stones. You can leave it in another layer. So there are different types. Next step is Tate Modern. Tate Modern, you have to think that it's a place where there are like hundreds of people passing every day. So it's thought for a really heavy-duty maintenance. And should be, in this case, they wanted to have a really like industrial image, but just applying something warm that is the timber on the floor, they change completely the mood. So when you are there, you feel really comfortable, you feel you are in a warm space, but at the same time, it's really easy to maintain. And it's a really like nice place to be. So I invite you, if you've never been there, so you were, and it's a really nice place to be. And basically, they are just combining cold material, that is the concrete, with a warm material, that is the timber. It's something that we really like. And this is a combination of the two previous images, because at the end, in this library, in the University of Zurich, they use the timber in the walls, in this case, and they use like a really white and shiny polished concrete or marble, in some cases, in the floor. So the combination of these two materials, there is also like a really like, shows really good quality. It's a really nice space to be there because you feel calm, but also like warm. It's an interesting space.
Just come in.
Yeah.
So with all those grooves in there, maintenance-wise, cleaning-wise, how do you see that?
What do you mean, in walls or?
Yeah, this timber.
Well, basically it's like you have to hover time to time, but at the end it's also good for the acoustics because you are like, you have the system, yeah. Yeah.
But I'm just saying it's something that we need to be aware of.
Yeah, but in this case, for example, this image as a reference,
Yeah.
we only apply this in the main space.
Yeah.
That is the prayer hall. So it's only applied there in the walls. It's a space that you need to take care of it.
Yeah.
So we have to look for a balance.
Yeah.
If we do everything like only in maintenance and cleaning, it should be everything like concrete and brick walls, and that's it. So it also needs like a
Easy to wash down.
exactly. So how we translate this into the materialities into the materials we are using. So we want a journey in the building. We want like a process. We don't want like a building that you go inside and everything is the same from the entrance point until the last bathroom. Everything has to be linked. Talking the same language, but you also have to enjoy like different spaces. So basically, we work from cold materials to warm materials, and basically this is translated from grays to browns, but always in a soft version. So we have concretes that they can be combined with kind of terrazzos. We want to metal, but we don't like shiny metal. We want also like soft or brushed metal. That can go also for some metals with different finishes in the ceilings. Then we start moving to the timber, but we don't want like the typical timber shiny because then it's complicated for maintaining. We go to like a matte and a bit rough timber that we will show you, combined with other timber in the walls. And then we move to the softer material. They are the fabrics for the carpets and also for the furniture. So also the furniture has to be part of the concept because you can have a really nice space, but then you put like a really ugly furniture and you damage the picture for the architects. We don't like that.
So you're supplying those, yeah?
Huh?
You are supplying those, yeah?
No, but we can talk about to be appointed for that. Principles. So basically, what we are talking and what we are considering. So what I told you, like we like to explain stories. So basically, architecture is the way of architects, they transform the nature to have the final design. So how we change this thing. So basically, we work with these four like concepts: continuity, texture, geometry, and patterns. So basically, continuity, we apply continuity to floor and walls. Then the texture, we are playing with the different ceilings, and also the geometry. We have the design on the ceilings, and then we have also the patterns that we have in different carpets, and also in the facade of the building, you see that we have the patterns. So we are always combining these four items. So if we go into how we design the building, we are gonna go now like space by space with a combination. You have to consider that now we don't have like real samples of everything because it's quite complicated sometimes to get the samples for the supplier until they have the contract, but we have like kind of a example of colors qualities, textures, so you can come over and you can just play and touch everything, so you will see. So North Block. Again, the principle for the North Block is we like continuity and also durability, but we want it to be warm because it has to be welcoming for the community, for the users, with texture to don't be boring. So we are playing with different, when you move from concrete that is a really soft material to real wood that has some texture, then it's also interesting to see and feel these differences. Geometry and design, the different patterns we have and the ceilings, and also applied to the fabrics that we have the pattern that for us is the history of the building and the community. Yeah, sorry. Like basically, we have the two buildings. We have the big building, and then we have the other building that is the one is going to be where the two houses are. We internally in our workshops we talk about the North Block and the South Block. So North Block is are basically all the sports facilities and the big spaces, and the South is the kids. So you will see that even they have something similar about the idea of materials. The kids have something else that is the color and how to use the materials. So these are the principles for the North Block, and then we go area by area. So as you know, we have the entrance. We always have an entrance to the building. So this space is a really big space. It's a space that where a lot of people is going to be maybe just for having a look, just to ask for a question or whatever. So has to be a space that really resistant, no? Because there's a lot of high transit. Has also to show the spirit of the building, that is a spirit that is going to be like a modern building, open, clean, shiny. So it's where we use the continuous materials. No? This is the one, the more a bit, is where we have the concrete floors. We go to grays, but why we go to grays? Because you have to consider that this space has a lot of light. No? All the facade is glazing, so you have a lot of light. You will see all the green of the landscape around. You will have another spot in here that is the cafe that is going to be more colorful. In here you will see also the entrance to the mayor, to the prayer hall. So this space has to be neutral to don't be in conflict with the other things that are happening around. So for the reason we want to like more simple materials. If we start adding here a lot of things happening, it's going to be like too overexcited for the public, let's say. So in here we go to the simplicity, but it will look really great because we will.
Can I just come?
Yeah.
See, like if you go to other centers, like Ismail Center in,
Mm-hmm.
so what if you go to their entrance?
Yeah.
Straight away,
Mm-hmm.
not the way you're describing.
Yeah.
Straight away, they've got a fountain, they've got all the architect, all the designs there.
Yeah.
So it hits you straight away.
Yeah.
Whilst the way you are describing is not that way. Right?
Well, yeah, no, you have this way, but we don't want to distract the people with fountains and decoration or whatever. No, it's just this is our point of view. We want to receive this. We are also considering this space also like it's a kind of a gallery of story, a gallery of people. So we are considering the same way that other architects that design museums and galleries. It's just not like a place where you are gonna start putting a lot of things. Also, you have the space so you can add the posters or whatever you need for the day-to-day work. But we want to have a clean and open space for welcoming the people. And you are going to have the desk in the entrance. That is also something that we are designing. There will be like a kind of a small version of the building itself. Do that with could be like solid surface or fiberglass. So it's going to be a kind of a model. So it's a really attractive piece that is just to show that the things we can do with these materials. So it will be a piece of art in the entrance. You will see, when you go in, you will see all the garden from here. So directly, the people when go in, they are going to walk in this way because they are going to be attracted for the landscape. So basically here, the landscape is going to be the fountain for this other place. So you are not only playing with the items inside of the building, you are playing with also what is happening around because you have transparency everywhere. And you will see that you have the cafe here, and the people in here is controlling. So it's a really easy and simple way that people in, if they have to ask any question, they appear directly in the reception desk. And also is the point that they are going to control the people moving. So from this point is where you see the different art rooms, like in a gallery. You will see that Something interesting is happening here because materiality and color is different. Something is happening here because people, the mood, the materials, and also the light is also different. So you are creating a point where you can decide where to move, like in a museum.
So on that basis, what is the focal point in your design in terms of the entrance?
In terms of the entrance,
Yeah.
like focal point, in what do you mean? Like,
What is the feature? What is going to attract me?
well, in here you are going to be attracted for the desk because it's not just a table. Here it's quite small, but it's going to be a really attractive piece. And then basically is the space. So when you're going to be inside, it's going to be really clear that circulations and everything is here, and you have the reception desk. And then it's like a lobby where you can decide where to move.
How about the stairs as well as the features?
Yeah, you have the stairs in here, exactly. So basically, if we go, in here we combine the entrance and then circulation. So here,
Can you go back? Because there's something, just trying to find out, go back. So you know on the left is the cafe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all, there is no kind of dividers.
No.
It's just this, yeah?
Yeah, no, because this is a space where you want people from outside to use this space because it's not the idea of to be open to all the neighborhood. Even in the future, we'll have all the the security amenities and everything. But the idea is to be, for this reason, the ground floor is glazing facades because a space that you want to share with your neighbors, but also with the landscape and everything that give you some privacy and to feel comfortable because you are close to a to a street.
Is the flooring all one?
This is, let me show you. Entrance and circulations is where we are combining concrete flooring. In the entrance, we have the concrete ceiling with the integrated lighting, and then we have like the masterpiece of the glass with the bespoke shape. Then we combine this with the timber when you start addressing the people to the different more private spaces. So the main staircase with the timber, also the lift, and then the rest of the space like walls and ceilings will be white. So basically if we go to the plan, what we are saying is you enter in here, all this space will be nice and continuous with no joints and polished concrete, all the circulations too. And then when you start going to more private spaces or more like allocated spaces, you start having the timber. So they are going to be the stairs, and then now I will show you the cafe to create like a more separated space will be also in timber. So let me go first then to the cafe.
With the polished floor,
Yeah.
concrete floor, obviously there will be some joints in there.
Yeah, but they are like every like 5. Yeah, it's something that a big spaces. So at the end, you have the perception of a continuous space, continuous flooring. It's not like it's like big, large, large spaces.
It's not slippery, is it?
No. You can do it. It's slippery if you do like a No, but these are the things. You can do polished. You can do it matte effects. There are many options. We like polished because then looks like a gigantic piece of marble. So in the same space, we have the cafe. So basically, it's here what we wanted to be more like warm. So it's where we apply the timber on the floor. We will have also the bespoke ceiling that is going to be like metal triangles with incorporated lighting. I will show you the image now. And these to be combined basically is concrete. We also have the columns, bespoke ceiling, and then really architectonical furniture to be more a sophisticated image. So this is the image for the cafe and the entrance. So it's a community center, but you see it's like at the level of a gallery, like a museum. So it's going to be really attractive for all the people, for the users, and also for the people around. So this is the view from the cafe. This is the entrance. This is the prayer hall at the end. So here you can see the effect I was talking about. People will be entering the building in this way. You have a lot of natural lights because of the transparency of the facade. The entrance is going to be the space where you have the concrete ceiling. So without walls, we are creating a kind of a space, no? Because you have a geometry just for the entrance, so you're going to feel that you are in the entrance in this spot. In this side, you are going to change the material, so it's going to be more like cozy, no? The people to sit, because you have all the timber on the floor, and then you're going to have all the furniture. That has to be a furniture that is also like a sophisticated, so we can create different spaces. We can create an area just for sitting, for having like a meal or whatever, but then more like a chill area with more like armchairs, like more relaxed space. And this is one of the main images you can have in the building, is where you're going to see people moving around, having a coffee, chatting with friends and family here, and it's going to be really comfortable with a lot of design, because this is the ceiling I was telling you. It's going to be a kind of a geometric dome with different positions of the panels, with integrated lighting. So it's a space with a lot of design.
Bespoke furniture, right?
Bespoke furniture, no, this is one thing that Ali want to tell you, that there are things that it's easier to buy, but there are things that we as an architects and as we like to think about everything. So there are pieces that we want to design, maybe like tables or but we can go. I really appreciate it.
So in here, where is the serving area?
The serving area is in this corner, doesn't appear in there. So it's, you are going to have the serving area, and also in timber. So basically, it's, as there are a lot of things happening, no? There is like the ceiling, there is the entrance, there is the furniture, there is the columns. Then we apply simple materials, but with a lot of quality. So the balance is good. Imagine in here if we start applying a lot of colors and a lot of textures everywhere, so it will be like really heavy. But then if we go to the simplicity of this, here, this, we call these slides in design, is like they are mood boards. It's just to show the feeling, not the exact design. It's the feeling. When you see these panels in here, you see that this balanced, no? Everything matches, it's soft colors. We go to light colors with some geometry. So, I don't know, but when I saw these images, I feel like relaxed, and it's, imagine if we start putting like black, shiny things or red, your feeling change. With this, you feel quiet, comfortable, but also looks modern, clean, and there is not a time in there. It could be for the future. So this will be the entrance. So then you arrive to the entrance. Let me go back.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure.
We're talking about the warm colors and these colors. Is it, as an architect, are these normally ethnically, different ethnic people change the perceptions of what is warm, what is this, or is it universal?
It's quite universal, because at the end it's like when you move in the blues colors, they are cold. When you go to yellows, reddish, this more warmer, so you have to move from one side to the other one. And also there is like a theories of like chromotherapy and everything, so it tells you that depending the colors you use, the feeling and even the biorhythmic things, they change in the body. For this reason, for example, hospitals, they try to be like now light green, because gives you some kind of relaxed and healthy. And when you do like nurseries and things for the school, you use like oranges or more like punchy greens, because it gives some inspiration, so you active their bodies to start thinking and doing things. So yeah, so there is a story behind the colors. Hello.
I'm late. We went to see a baby who is a new member of this
Cool.
of this group.
Congratulations.
And the baby was traveling today, so I had to see her.
Cool, no, fantastic.
The tender documents that we have sent out,
Mm-hmm.
which we are waiting the pricing.
Yeah.
Does it include all this that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Other than the loose furniture,
Yeah.
all the fixed fittings,
Mm-hmm.
exactly as you're demonstrating?
Yeah, there are things that we have like different options, so I don't know if they are putting price to all the options or they are just considering option one, for example.
Okay.
But yeah, the things you see here, except the
So yes, I don't want to override the agenda for this morning. This is probably the best forum, I feel, for people that have taken the trouble of coming here, looking at the design. This is the best team who can decide of the 1, 2, or 3 options that MYA produce, which one do you want to go for? Somewhere we have to make a decision. I don't think it's a trustee's decision. I think it is this
Okay,
decision.
so obviously the issue is going to be that at the end of the day, once we go through the whole presentation, it is that whatever has been put in the specification, 100% the contract will come out with something different. You are guaranteed. Okay? So that is the time when we actually make the final decision. Just now we make a general decision, and then the actual final decision will always happen. So for example, like that carpet that he's using, we go, okay, I've got something similar that's, and that is when the actual decision will be had. Yeah? All contractors, here is the contract will tell you. Okay? You specify a grey color concrete finish. Say, okay, I've got something slightly.
But I would have hoped that these guys have taken the trouble of specifying exactly.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, but what is the saying Riyaz is like,
That's what I'm saying.
And give it to them. So I'm hoping that the contractor will actually price on the actual
Oh no,
proposition.
they will always price on their drawings,
Yes,
but they will always come up with the alternative.
of course,
Right.
that's fine. That's very good.
That's what
I would love them to do that.
This is the
Particularly if it's more attractive in terms of price and quality, then we'd like the contractor to do that.
So that is when the actual decision will be made.
But what I am worried about at this moment in time, what is a contractor pricing on? Option 1, option 2, or option 3? Because they will not come back that detailed. I think we have to narrow it down to one option that we all here like and stick to that.
Sorry, most of the things are option one, because there's only one kind of finishes, concrete polished floor to the floor, concrete ceiling, that kind of desk. The only difference is that there are some of the sanitary
Sanitary.
are different. You've got 3, 2, 4 options, so it's really
yeah,
limited.
and in finishes,
Most of the finishes are
Yeah.
stipulated.
Well, I must confess that I haven't seen volumes of tender documents that have gone out.
Yeah.
I haven't seen every
Sure,
detail of
sure,
it.
yeah,
So
but
you, perhaps you can point it out as you go along today.
yeah, no, we will do.
Yeah.
This is what it's doing.
Yeah, well, we see some like red stars that is, for me, means like to discuss. So we will go to this
Sorry
point.
to break your flow, I've got one question there. You've got few hard surfaces there on the main entrance.
Yeah.
Concrete floor, concrete ceiling,
Mm-hmm.
concrete columns. How are you tackling the acoustic? Is there any buffers? Is there any?
No, the thing is like the entrance is, and here it's difficult to show because at the end it's like 4 pictures of 4 materials, but the space is really big. So in there,
There won't be any echoing. There
no,
won't be any echoing.
no, but the thing is like you, for example, you have all the cafe, that is everything is timber, so and you have the acoustic ceiling, so this is acting as a really absorption space for the entrance. You have also the prayer hall that is also in timber and the carpet. So everything has been studied at the beginning with the acoustic consultant. So all the materials selected are based on the acoustic requirements they base. It's true that at the stage of the working drawings, we need, when everything is completely selected, the acoustic has to go again through everything to match, to make sure that everything is matching, and the material that the ceiling in the cafe is having the appropriate insulation on top, so to make sure that everything works.
Sure.
So it's like one more phase to be
Stage further.
exactly.
I'm still having difficulty orientating myself. Which view is this?
No, let me show you. It's like
In particular view, it's a
Yeah.
general view from somewhere else.
so what.
It's not specific to
No.
Okay.
So what I prepared is what we call mood boards. So it's a collection of reference images to show the atmosphere of the space. So with images of the materials similar to the ones we selected. So it's not the real things, because we don't have real samples for everything, but at the end is to show the general idea of the feeling of the space. So I divided the presentation in 2 blocks, north block and south block, and then the main areas. So for each area, we create 1 panel. And this is the presentation, the mood board of the principles for the north block, that will go to these concepts. Continuity and durability, that for us is like materials like concrete. Then warm and texture, materials like timber. Geometry and design are the bespoke ceilings we have. And then the pattern and the history of the community applied to the design we did in different aspects. So what we were just discussing now were the materials for the entrance, then all the circulations and then the cafe. So it's the first image you have of the building. So basically it's, as there are many things happening in this space because it's really big and you have a lot of items, we go to really simple materials to don't be like fighting with the architecture. So it's where we apply all the light grays, all the continuous surfaces, and so this is, for example, the materials for the entrance. We have the concrete floor, concrete ceiling, then we are going to have the bespoke furniture, for example, for the desk that can be done in solid surface or fiberglass. Then when we start moving through the building to the main spaces, we start combining the concrete with the warm materials, like, for example, the stairs. This is, just to, in case you weren't here, because we are using as a reference these 3 masterpieces that there are 2 of them in London, 1 in Zurich, to have these concepts, to be warm, to be natural, to be pure. And how is it applied with the materials? Basically, they are using same materials as light timber, light concrete, white, and going from matte to shiny. So this is the general image of the building, to be like modern and also for the future. So once we talk already for the circulations, let's go downstairs. Let's go to the sports facility. So it's going to be one of the main things of the community using it. So sports hall is the biggest room in the building. So it's not only for sports. Many things that are going to be happening there. So we have to balance the high traffic also with the design, also with the modern facilities. So this space, basically, if I put the image, it's going to be a big space, clean, simple at the first view, but then is where we apply also like a bespoke ceiling. It's going to be, for example, I didn't read it, no. We are going to design a ceiling with timber slats and combined with integrated lighting. So we are going to have a pattern on the ceiling. It's not going to be the typical sports hall where you have like the beams or whatever. So you're going to have like a timber grid with a pattern based in the Tanzania patterns, where we are going to integrate the lighting. We are going to have general lighting, but also in here, we're going to have color lighting, depending on what you want to use it, if you have a party or whatever. So you're going to have some spots of RGB lighting so you can combine. Then in the famous glass floor on the normally typical spaces, they have like the timber floor that you can apply with different colors, but normally everybody has like lights, brown, or they go to gray. In this case, we were discussing to have a glass floor that you don't see like a glass at the end when the lights are off. It's like a kind of dark gray, black surface, matte. But underneath, they have a LED system. You can decide the lines depending on the sport you are playing. So you can, the shaping here, if you have badminton, football, basketball, appears. So when everything is off, it's a surface, a continuous surface, but when you are playing something, boom, the lines appear.
We afford it.
So what does the tender document say?
The tender document is, this is one of the things we have to discuss. In the tender is the goods.
You have
We don't have to specify that. But this is like a separate item that has to be like a...
But it's glass for, you can play sports, you don't get any problem.
No, it's special for sports. It's a glass because of the composition, but at the end it's not like if you are walking in a glass. It's quite new, like it was, last year was the news of like the first glass sports hall in the UK appeared in the news. But it's something that is guaranteed in everything.
You know the ceiling, I mean, it's quite nice, but it is like not breakable, right? Because
No.
Summer games, the ball goes there.
You, in these things, you have to be like secure that we've been talking with really high-end professionals, and we always discuss these things like in here. They already know. Before you tell them, you say, this is sports, so this has to be a minimum for whatever to don't allow balls to be stuck in there and cannot be moved because then it's going to be a mess, What are you going to be playing? Badminton, so we have to consider this, and this. So there is a lot of technical discussions that we had in the last 3 years. But basically it's a multi-function space. So we are going to go to a specific type of flooring. Walls are going to be white with some, we will apply the design also like in the signage, no? In everything you have to put even the numbers or whatever, we will put a pattern, so everything is going to be related. Here you cannot see because of the light, but when we have to put the numbers of the tracks or whatever, we are applying the same pattern that in the ceiling we will be applied to. So everything is thought as a one object. And also here, during the process, when we start the construction and we start ordering the real samples, we will have different colors. So it is the point where we are going to, okay, let's go to Venge or oak or whatever. So now it's just to define that we're going to timber ceiling, this system, and later on we will kind of like specify the final finish.
Victor, with respect, it looks very nice, the ceiling and the lights would look lovely. In terms of practicality, did you actually consider, whilst playing any sports like badminton, and once you're throwing your thingy up and you're looking at the ceiling, that light could be a distraction for the player?
Well, the type of light we put is like quite homogeneous. It's not like a spotlight that with a light just going into the face. It's continuous.
It's not going to affect the players?
No, it shouldn't. They make all the calculations, the lighting designer. So they have models where you see the intensity of the light and everything. But also, it's like at the end of the process is where you have to adjust everything, and you can also, you have like a lighting control system is where you can also control the intensity of all the elements there.
What's the finishes on the walls?
Is in this case, it's plaster. It's the only room where you have like a plaster because of it's heavier than other. So you have all the walls are concrete blocks with plaster.
Okay. So it's not fair face block work?
No. In this case, no. We have the block work as a final finish in the gyms and in the changing rooms. I will show you. In here.
This is a multi-purpose, right? So it's sports and come any event.
Exactly.
So consider that as well, that to have.
Yeah, the acoustics are thought for a lot of people being there, not just like 4 people playing. For example, 2 teams playing badminton is for a lot of people being there. Ventilation, all the climate and everything is thought for a lot of people being there. Also here, at the end of the stage, when we double check everything with the acoustic consultant, because this is quite big and depending on some factors, maybe we have to add some acoustic material on the walls. But we already have the thought that following the line of all the windows, we will apply also timber, same color, but maybe like a different option, because in here we're combining these louvers with plain surfaces. So we will use the plain surfaces that they have like a micro perforations in the opaque zones in between the windows. So at the end, everything will be looking with the same.
This acoustics is okay. Multiple people, not
Yeah.
number, but also somebody speaking through a microphone and speaker, right?
Yeah, but then in here there's another thing that is all the audiovisual systems. So the building has to will have integrated proper like audiovisual like system with the speakers, with the microphone screens. So yeah, and everything will be integrated. I will show.
Sorry, in terms of the absorption, I don't know whether you have looked at that. The glass floor compared to the junker floor, the timber floor.
They work differently. For the reason is one of the points that having the acoustic consultant at the end of the process is like necessary, is mandatory, because then these things that they were not considering at the time the report was done, so they need to be adjusted. For this reason, we are considering that maybe because of the glass floor, we have to add some acoustic on the walls. So they are like the backup idea.
The reverberation would be a lot more.
Exactly, because also because when you have the normal like timber floor in the sports, they are like suspended. They have some space, exactly. So this is something more like rigid. So, but there are options. It's just applying something else that can be integrated. So we have the sports hall, then we have the gyms. No, we have the female and male gym in different, one is in here, the other one is in the other level in this area with views on the sports hall. So as the materiality has to be kind of related because there are spaces they are connected. But also they have to be simple because at the end it's something that is a place where you have a lot of like heavy stuff and people moving all the time and people that they are going to be climbing on the walls for stretching or whatever. So you cannot put like really nice and delicate materials because they're going to be destroyed 2 days after. So basically, and also because of the trend of the gyms, that people like to be like in a, because they feel like they are like carrying big weights, so more like industrial space. We go to heavy duty materials. We have rubber flooring, something for the absorption of the impact. So if you have a timber in a gym, it's going to be damaged the first day because they drop something and they destroy. So we have a special flooring for gyms. Walls, really simple. Brick wall can be painted, can be just like as a final touch. The ceiling is going to be really high because we don't have false ceiling. So here you are going to see like the 5 meters, 4 or 5 meters you have. So it's going to be like a huge space. We will apply, this is a spray, acoustic spray. So you cover everything with a spray that has a texture and you can select the color. We think that black is always good because then when you have a ceiling in black and it's really high, you don't have the perception of the ceiling. It looks like it's something there and then you cover all the things that are happening. And then we are going to play with like a more funky lighting. These tubes hanging in different positions, different shapes. So basically it's going to be a really dynamic space. You are going to have all the machinery of the gym. And then the envelope of that gym is going to be neutral because you are going to have a lot of material in there. So simple materials and then playing with the lighting to have more like a dynamic space.
You said the gym is going to be the same, male and female, but the male gym, the height is only this much.
No, because we don't have false ceilings in any of them. And then you have is higher than this.
Basement minus 1 is very small.
Yeah, basement minus 1 height is less than.
It's less, but still is more than this.
Is taller because there are no beams there. Okay. In the kitchen.
And the thing is, when you have the beams, below the beams, yeah, there is less, but in between the beams, you have also 1 meter more. So the perception of, for the reason we don't want to have the ceiling because make the space like be more like compressed. So we go to really like simple materials, but also we will play in here with the signage, with all the with the lighting. Also, we can combine some of the lighting with color, so will be like a.
So is the male gym bigger than the female gym?
Yeah.
No, they are equal. No, more or less, no. It's different because of the shape. It's different because of the shape, but.
When
Yeah.
I walked, I found it's bigger. The man is bigger.
Yeah, but the man is bigger here, but you have a lot of, you have more circulations in here, so you can swap.
In the gym, where the flooring sample is being passed down,
Yeah.
what type of heating is it in that room?
We also always have the same heating, is the underfloor heating. Yeah.
Below
The-
this,
every-
there's going to be underfloor
exactly. Yeah.
And I'm just saying because you'll find generally more women, because of the way we are having this, with more women coming to the gym than men, looks like it.
Well,
Shouldn't be a bit bigger than the
no, because then we have another room that is the studio gym.
aerobics one.
Yeah, so we have this exactly this in another floor where the activities happen. Because these gyms are more like for the cycling, for the men, all the weights, and is where when you go to the gym, there is always queue where the weights. So for the reason this area is bigger, but then the activities that they are more like women going to, like for aerobics or whatever, then we have a second space. So that compensates that.
Sorry, in the male gym, are we going to allow women who wanted to go and do it with their husbands? Because once I know we have decided that. Is it still happening?
No, we never say.
Huh? We're not happening?
It's very separate, completely separate.
Oh, okay. Because I thought when in one of the meetings we had decided that any, I'm not talking about myself, but any whites who
No,
know that they want to do
we
it together.
always said we can keep it
That will
separate.
definitely be separate. Okay, then you can decide.
Okay, so this is the studio gym.
Revisiting it, time move on, it's 10 years on.
As if we're just designing and making it, we can change the rules and everything.
Yeah, to be honest, the good point of managing the building is you can manage in a,
Changes the fatwa.
is you can manage according with the time. So now, for example, maybe in a few years you decide that you want to use these spaces for activity more than for gender. Maybe you want a space just for like weights. Maybe you separate there women and men, but it's for weights and then for activities. So it's the good point of having like different spaces so you can allocate different things happening there.
Just out of interest, Marina, at the current yoga classes, how many mats do you have on the floor?
We can fit 20 in this
20
room.
mats here
Yes.
at the moment? Okay,
So
so if you,
inside this,
yeah, so if you remove that partition, you can have 20 mats here.
Exactly. In here we have people where you can run with the views on the sports hall, and then you have this class for activities. But this could be like a bigger activity class.
The middle partition is open.
It's glass. Yeah, this is glass.
Just quick question.
Yeah.
The views to the sports hall, can we block the views if we needed to? Or is
These is things that need to be discussed because at some point we had some like a screen behind the glass, but then it's like then you are blocking always the views. At some point we were discussing about these glasses with that you can make it opaque. So these are things that need to be decided how you want to use it 100% because for us it's not a problem that can be always open views because it's the same activity happening everywhere, but this is more about the managing.
Do me a favor, just go all the way around, all the 3 walls, and tell me where is glass at the moment and where is hard floor.
So in this space,
Sorry, I'm in this wall. I want you to go, I want to walk
okay,
across all of that.
super easy.
Tell me, and what can I see from this floor down?
Super easy because everything is glass at this level. So when you go, this is the view from inside. Okay. So basically, you have at this level, everything is solid. No, in the basement -2, everything is solid, and this is where the females' gym is. Then in the upper floor, you have all the circulations that are glass, and then you have the views from the male gym and from the studio gym. Basically, this is the no.
the women's room is on the same floor as the sports?
Yes.
So this is -2. So basically, you have in here the changing room, female gym, sports hall entrance, and the rest. This is the beauty center in here, and this is the lecture theater, and this is just like facilities. Then and here everything is solid, so there are no views. When you go up,
Sorry, just go to the previous slide. I'm just trying. Sorry, no, the image,
Of the-
the badminton player. Yeah, here. So, sorry, this is, I'm just trying to orientate myself.
this is is the view from here.
Huh?
Is the view from here like
Which is
this,
from
Yeah,
there.
from
So
there.
you-
So you're looking at this and you're.
and this corner exactly.
So this is the same as this?
This is in here you have more glass because
Okay, just go back to that.
Yeah.
slide. Okay, just stop. Just go back.
in here
Yeah,
you have everything is glass.
everything is glass.
Glass. No, sorry, this is the this. Everything is glass,
Yeah.
glass, 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 and then you stop in here because this is the staircase.
Go to that.
See, we go to the image.
Yeah, so, okay. So,
This solid spaces because we have in here the lift, and in here the stairs.
so we would want at times
Mhm.
for people on the first floor, mezzanine floor, not to be able to look
Okay.
at the sports hall.
Or
No.
the other way around.
Huh?
Or the other way around. Men can look up to the women playing gym, right?
Mhm.
No, this side is female. Yeah,
No, here, no, if you're in here, if there's a ground, you can't see anybody on the first floor. You can't see anyone on the mezzanine floor. It's on the mezzanine floor to the,
Mhm.
that we would want sometime. And I think the best solution is, I know it's money, the best solution is you press a button and that glass goes opaque.
Press the button and the blind comes down.
Cheaper.
Say, still a button.
Yeah, but it'll be cheaper than what I'm also. We would definitely want it, otherwise we have, these are at the moment, we have to go for cheap options, yeah?
And then the clear glass.
Option 1, option 2.
Yeah, I would go for your option.
And then cleaning and massing.
No, it's inside, sometimes the blind is inside, yeah?
Within the glass, you can have outside.
We'll cross the bridge, that's the time.
In here, we think we have to consider one thing that maybe helps to make the decision. All the glazing that faces to the circulations is fire rated. So I don't know if the glass can be fire rated. We should ask about that. So maybe it helps us, because if they say no, we have to also discard this and we have to go to other options.
But there's enough, I can see there's enough lip there to be able to put
A screen,
shutter,
yeah.
electric blinds.
Yeah, because we can hide it in the ceilings, so that can be hidden. We also need then to consider we want to guide, so everything is like a proper like blackout space or just a screen.
I think you'll win there.
Fire or
You think your window was blown? You think your window was blown?
there it is saying.
Already canvassing, I sent you the pictures.
Okay.
Okay.
Victor, I've got a question niggling me for a minute now.
Yeah.
There are loads of unique, iconic concepts in your design.
Mm-hmm.
Great, big tick. And there's loads of bespoke items there as well. Here's the question. All that obviously attracts cost.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see the temptation towards moving this from what you've drawn here to there, it's quite high.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm worried about is that when we get to a contractor and he said, you know what, don't have that timber ceiling, don't have that timber walling, you don't need that marble flooring, we'll do this. And I'm concerned about if someone goes on his own accord to somewhere else, how much that is going to affect the design, because I can see the link, I can see the flow, I can see the logic, I can see the thought, and that is really the niggling things in my head that concerns me, is that the minute that I feel that we move away from that kind of design and that kind of bespoke finishes, the minute that we're almost pushing that to one side.
Well, two things. One is like, even though it looks there is a lot of bespoke design, it's not that much, and we allocated for just few suppliers. Basically, it's the carpet supplier, is only one supplier for everything, so then they optimize the cost. And then the ceiling suppliers that we only have two. One is the metallic one, and then the timber one. And both of them, they are doing not only the bespoke, they are doing other things. So also they have like a big thing, then to optimize the price. So for the suppliers, shouldn't be a problem because there are just three of them. So they can do like a good price in conjunction.
So far, let's
Yeah.
just take one example. One example, flooring throughout the building.
Mm-hmm.
Have you selected the flooring from the internet sites, or have you actually spoken?
We have spoke with every single industrial that is in there.
The next question is, how difficult is it for you now, at this stage, now, in the next 2 weeks, to ask those three people to give you a price?
Well, first is then we are like mixing roles. That's the first thing.
Or can you introduce them to us?
Yeah, no, the thing is, in the, you have the finishes, so the things we supply, we have the finishes, and we also supply a supplier's list where we say every single material the supplier will talk with.
Okay, so Saba, if I then
With the emails and everything.
has my tenderer or the potential contractor got in touch with you, that will tell us how keen we have the price and how specific is the price.
Yeah, it is possible.
Yeah. So you have this.
Very much if they have gone to that kind of.
All of them, they would love to talk directly with the client because they always know that the contractor in between is the one they wants to push them because at the end the contractor wants to talk with the suppliers they normally work. But for the reason we did this list is with all the materials, the company, the person we talk with, and the email. So it's easy to contact them. It's called the suppliers.
From there, right?
If you go to the tender package in architecture, you have architecture, you have consultants, and you have suppliers. When you open supplier, there is a PDF that is the suppliers directory. So you have all the contacts there. So this is one thing. Replying to your answer. The second answer is we have to make clear to the contractor the idea and the origin of the building. We wanted to have an iconic building. So they have to know that, because otherwise, any contractor, they're going to tell you that I can do this building half price because they attack to the interiors. They will say, okay, I make you the facade you want, Then the interiors are gonna do super simple because I have my friend that supplies this, that, and then they destroy the building, basically. Because you don't only want,
And that is my fear.
yeah,
But my key question is it really, when you say, if you give a free hand to a contractor, is he really going to be able to do it half price, or is he going to be able to do it at 15% less, or 20%?
Yeah, it would be that lower
I'd rather
percentage.
pay
as
20%
opposed to-
more
okay.
and get this.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that's the reason behind the question,
Yeah.
is that the temptation is so high,
Yeah.
but when you understand the granular detail of what's going in there,
Yeah.
you'll come up with the answer, which is the lower percentage is going to be for 15% less. And you won't get to see that 15% from the contractor. That would be his, if you like, his profit, his saving.
I understand.
we also went to big, we went to big brands. So, because if we go to like a bespoke, I don't know if you go to a local carpenter, they will charge you more, no? Because it's really bespoke. But everything we have in here is based on a standard design they have, and then we adapt it to our
So
design.
it is standard design, right? That's the
Yeah, for example, it's for the ceilings.
Yeah.
We have two companies. We have EOMAG, that is for the timber one, and then we have SAS, that is for the metal ones. So we've been discussing months and months how we can adapt the system they have to the results we are looking for. So with this way, it's like, okay, for example, for the ceiling in the prayer hall, we have this, they did many proposals we were discarding because we didn't like it, but at the end it's like, we have this rail with the system that we can clip, and then we only need to bespoke the shape. Okay, let's go for this.
Oh, okay.
So they are bespoke results, but based on non-bespoke systems to optimize the cost. And at the end, we are talking about only 5 rooms.
Yeah.
So we are putting all the intention in 5 rooms to have this reason, not to balance price and balance image. If we have design everywhere, it would be like over the top. So, okay. So finishing with the sports rooms, we have then the studio gym. That also, because of the activities, has to be more like comfortable in terms of how to approach. Basically, in here, we keep the concrete block on the walls that also can be painted or can be like a natural gray. The flooring here has to be timber because of the activities. They require to have like this time of flooring. Everything will be white. Also, we will have mirror on the walls because also the activities they need to have mirrors. And here the ceilings are more standard, but also thinking on the acoustics. So there are different models of acoustic ceilings. We can go for that, small lines, bespoke patterns, but it's something that when we are on site, we will order to the company that is supplying, okay, ceilings you have for this range of prices, they will bring, and we will choose the model, and that's it. And then the changing rooms. Changing rooms. We do the same, men and women. We only apply, like, it's something to be discussed with the community, if we go to different colors or for some details or not. Basically, it's, again, the trend of the sports center is to be like more like engineer space, more like strong space. So we also apply the concrete, but then we combine different types of stones or concrete. The main space of the changing, we have the concrete flooring, we have this type of walls, and then where we have the showers and all the wet areas, we propose, because we like, is to combine with big format terrazzo tiles. So you are keeping the same idea of continuous, and this, I have here a sample. This sample here doesn't show how, because it's really small, but these pieces are like 1 meter by 1 meter. So when they are put in place, they look stunning. So you can just pass. And then if we combine, this is not the concrete, but it's just to show a type of concrete because this is matte. But if we combine these, there are materials that they match quite well. The ceilings, again, we want to show that it's a big space, so instead of having a continuous ceiling, we have these metal louvers that they are pending on one position, but then they are open. So the lighting is behind, and this space is in black, is just the real ceiling. So even you have some dimension of the space, at the end you see that the space is bigger, but it's this type of industrial and modern space. So this will be the general mood, and then all the cubicles, toilets or showers, will be like the typical continuous things. So in here is where we can apply the color. We have hundreds of options. We can go from typical blue, green, men's one color, ladies one color. We can go to glossy white to have like a big contrast with the gray. We can go to really punchy color. We can put it in yellow. So it's at the end, the image we want to show that something more industrial, more calm, or more like aggressive in terms of color because you want to motivate the people. There are hundreds of options.
You said this on the door.
This is for the cubicles, for the showers, for the...
Cubicle door.
Yeah, exactly. And the inside.
For inside the cubicle.
Exactly.
And this, waterproof or this material?
This is like a, how's it called? Now it's like it's laminate. Laminate. Yeah, so you can have matte effect, you can have glossy effect, you have timber effect. But the thing is, what we discussed at the beginning, if we go for really, yeah, exactly. Look, yeah, this is for Mike.
One other question. So a contractor that you will be talking to will try and convince us,
Mm-hmm.
and I want you to help me give an answer to say that, look, that ceiling, if you guys put that ceiling, you will waste all your years cleaning it. How would you clean that ceiling?
No, but this is requires less maintenance than when you have the continuous with perforations, because sometimes the one with perforations, for example, is you can see all the dust,
Only,
but here is open,
yeah.
so it's not. You have less surface to clean.
Is it?
Yeah, you have. This is the louver in here is 40% of all the surface because the 60% is open, and then you will have the lighting in between.
So once a year, just take
Exactly.
What do you mean by open?
There is nothing. This black is nothing.
So can anyone see that?
No, because the thing is, like for example, if you have 5 meters, and you have these louvers hanging at 2.6, and then the ceiling on the top is painted in black, so you don't see anything there, but you have the perception that it's a bigger space. And then the lighting is behind, so you don't see the spot directly there. You see that the lighting coming behind the louvers.
And the idea behind the louvers is
Depending, because you have
aesthetic or is it acoustic?
the thing is like with the spray, we can spray the real ceiling with the acoustic spray, depending of how is the final the reverberation of the space.
Okay.
Yeah, but this has
So
to be
the
double
louvers
checked.
really aesthetic as opposed to acoustic.
You can do them acoustic.
Yeah.
It always affects to the price, but also everything single material you put there can be simple, can have like acoustic parameters. So if there is a really bad acoustic in the room, we can do, for example, 3 of them with acoustic. Exactly.
This thing, just like a lot of the restaurants do that, right?
Yeah.
The ceiling is all black and then it's overhead.
Yeah, and it's nice because then you apply with the lighting that is behind that.
So the light is being diffused between
Exactly.
the louvers.
And for example, if you want to have music in the changing rooms, the speaker is behind, so you put it's cheaper than if you do something integrated in the ceiling because it's just is pending. Yeah. So,
For heating the floor, is concrete?
Yeah.
Is kept warm with underfloor?
Yeah. No, but all the circulations there are concrete and everything is underneath. So it's like warm floor.
So I just thought about something, that if you use all of these material in your new house, then at least you could see what a sample.
I'm very happy to be able to
Sponsor me.
If you need an architect for the house, we can decide what.
I wanted concrete floor in my house. Your dad say, he was oohing and ahhing. Now you can have any, you can get the information from him.
Just go, all of these products.
We can do the mock-up. We can do the mock-up.
Seriously, concrete floor is really,
Then all the donors, we can bring them, look, this.
Victor,
take it to our
have
house.
yourself a cup of tea and a bit of water.
Oh, thank you.
Feel at ease.
Okay, let's have it hot.
You're part of the community, by the way.
Thank you. No, but I invite you to go to the 3, well, at least to 2 of the buildings I showed at the beginning, just to have the perception of the space. If you go to the extension of the Tate Modern, and also go to the bathrooms and everything, you will see like how they are doing in new like stand. Tate Modern,
have you as a practice, have used these materials on any of your projects?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we love concrete.
I know you.
No, but yeah, no,
It's
even
nice to have an architect
even
that's
even,
concrete.
even for housing. So
Yes.
for private houses, we have. There is not only concrete. There are many options for continuous floor. You can have like continuous terrazzo done in situ, and you can have white, polished white,
Sure.
and then it's like a real piece of marble.
Yes.
You can go to. You can polish what I was saying, no, the concrete until you see all the stones, and then you apply a resin on top. And for me, it's beautiful, but there's people that they don't like it. So we always need to adjust with the final user, because there is people that they don't like to see the stones because they remind I don't know what, and they don't like it. But then you polish just few millimeters, and you apply the final polish thing, and it's just like a shiny gray surface.
I've done that.
Yeah. So you can use it in different ways. You can have a really dark space, but can be really light even being concrete, because then you play with the white, you play with the lights, and the thing is, like, then you make sure that never will look old-fashioned. But when you apply, for example, porcelainic is always following the trends. And maybe you put this, and in 5 years they say like, but this reminds me to the 2019, that is a long time ago.
All these finishes, are they in your details? Are they in your drawings, or are you waiting for the contractor to?
No, we have our details are based on this. Like, for example, we have different types of floors. We have the details for porcelainic floor, timber floor, concrete floor. Then if we change the model, it's not an issue. While we keep the build concrete, exactly.
Uh-huh. So they are not quite embedded within the concept, but they are, if you like, being stated, saying that the floor is going to be that, but the detail of how the floor is going to be finished, how is the junction between two different types
This is
of
done.
floors,
This is done.
This is done as well.
This is done. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, the only difference is like where we apply these tiles. If you don't like terrazzo because you don't like it and you want to go to a white, plain white, but for us it's the same because it's porcelainic, so we know the thickness is the same and the specifications for how to apply this is the same. If you change this to, I don't know, to leather, then it's completely different because all the inbuilt, all the process is completely different. But if we keep the type of material, but just we change the model, it's not a
finish.
problem. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, sure.
Each room, we actually calls up a specific system. So for example, in that room, we're going to use that. Another room, we're going to use that.
Yeah.
All specific.
Okay. I have not seen the details.
So if you go in every room,
Yeah. Okay.
there's actually what the ceiling is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
That's the room data sheet you were looking there.
No, this is different. So different things.
Yeah.
So you have the room data sheet as a complementary thing, yeah.
Timber, the concrete, each one has got its own area. So like this is
This is part of your tender document.
Yeah. So basically,
all there, right? So for example, like your lecture center seating, what material it should be, you have flooring,
Next.
so basically to make it easier, we have just a few floors, type of flooring. We have circulations and public spaces is concrete. Then when we want to create something more warmer but still public, we go to timber. And when there is like an activity happening there, we have carpets. And these are the three types of have. Except in the shower that we have tiling because it's easier for the terms of a sleeper, lady or whatever. Then in walls, everything is white except the prayer hall that is with the timber louvers in vertical, and the rest is white. And then in the ceilings is where we have more variety.
Yeah.
We have the main rooms, we have the bespoke ceilings, some of them in metal, some of them in timber, and then the rest are or plain white or some acoustic fibers that I will show, or when we have at the back of the house that we have the panels because it's easier for maintenance to open them. And that's it.
Okay.
It looks like we have plenty of things because there are
But it
plenty
is-
of rooms, but
but it is-
the idea
It's
is quite,
standardized.
exactly.
Yeah, that's something.
So basically, in here, this is the modes we want to play with, and then we can decide the final image with the color. If we want to go something really like futuristic, we go to white, but maybe we can go black matte. So there are many options that we can change. Also, it depends if it's going to be a branded gym or not, that maybe we have to adapt to the corporative colors or whatever. But this is the idea. Then, now that we are talking with one of the bathrooms, this is the type of sanitary we are showing. So at some point we were talking about rimless, but then we were talking with different suppliers about rimless. One supplier came and said like, what about rim-free? So there are always like options. So in here, it changed the price, not that much, but it's depending of if we want to go rimless or rim-free. What is that? This in terms of cleaning, now the normal toilets, they have the water is supplied around the whole of the toilet. Rimless is because they inject the water from behind, so there is less surface hidden, so it's easier for cleaning. But then there is, for example, here, no? There is the water comes from here, so there is nothing around. But there is still some shape, so there can be a bit in here. When it's rim-free, it's like a cup of tea, is completely continuous the surface, so it's really easy to clean because there is nothing that can be dirty. So, because when we were discussing about the toilets, no, the inputs they were to be easy to clean and to avoid contact as much as possible. So everything that is possible is sensor, so we don't need to touch any tap, anything. So basically, when you need to flush, just passing the hand like this without touching, it's activated. Then also all the taps in the basins, they have like a small sensor, so you pass the hand and the water comes. So it's to make it like the more clean as possible. Also, showers, you have to push it here because you have, but it's going to be temporary, so just trying to control the waste of the water. So we also are concerned about the consumption and everything. So basically here is just to the side, but at the end that can be discussed with the contractor. Prices, if we go to rim-free, rim-less, and then basins, we have different suppliers. We have this supplier that we really like it. I will show you because in terms of sanitary and accessories, we have more standard, and then we have something that is higher in price, but because it's higher in design and final effect. So we have this brand that they have nicer finishes, no, because they are these ones in here. They are not the typical chrome. They have other finishes. And also the shapes they are more pure, even you don't see here, but when you saw the real sample, they are more modern. The accessories is one thing, but they are really good in the taps and in the basins. I will show you the one for the Wudu is amazing because it's just like a cantilever, you will see. But also, we try to use always the same to have like a big package, so it's easier to negotiate a better price. But at the end, we can mix. If we like this brand for the ablution area because it's top, we put this, and then for the changing rooms, we can go to something more standard. So there's also this process to be done.
This wash hand base is bespoke, isn't it?
No, they are not bespoke. The thing is, at the beginning, when we were talking with Porcelanosa about doing the basins, they were bespoke because they have a system with crayons, so you have to tell them the size, and they do for you. But this company, they have already in solid surface few models. So we choose the models that they fit in there, so they are standard. Even the design is better because it's like it's nicer. So we adapt to the things they already had in the catalog.
They are Spanish, aren't they?
No, this not.
Who are they?
These are British. Yeah, they're from here.
So
Yeah.
This wudu thing. Now, because there are two different kinds like that. Like some people they wash their feet and.
No, this is not for the wudu. This is changing rooms for the. We are still in the sports area. So basically, just to show that the options to be choose are not that complicated. At the end, it's just based on price and when we go to the showrooms, because at some point we should go to the showrooms to see the product, you will see. And basically here is go to Porcelanosa and go to the lab splash, that is this other, and we see, we like, and we choose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah.
about the rimless free
Mhm.
toilets. Are they, basically there is no toilet seat, it's just the...
No, you have the seat. The difference is in the ceramics.
Okay.
The ceramic thing, if you normally, when you have to clean it, there is something.
Yeah.
These are without that.
Okay.
It's like it's like a cup. It's like a pot. It's completely clean surface. But then you have the seats and everything is the standard. It's just how is it inside.
I think some whatever you put to replace, yeah, we'll come to your house for coffee.
Inshallah, when you come to my
So in here you don't
You're
see.
gonna stop here and give it ideas now.
In here,
Loads of them, loads of them.
here you don't see properly, but there is nothing. There is no joint at all. So it's completely straight the
Anybody
inside.
wants to see this, right? Across the
Come to the
road,
nursery.
in the nursery, we have it.
Okay.
It was 2003.
Okay.
As old as that. And that was Armitage Shed, right? So none of this German or Italian makes. It's, pure.
No. These are from here. And then also, this brand I told you, this brand is more expensive than Porcelanosa. But for example, Porcelanosa has to bespoke the sensor tabs wall mounted because they don't have. We would talk with them and they are happy to make a design. These people they have already in catalog. So there are options that we can balance. Accessories for the changing rooms, we go to wall mounted to be like easy, and then we will see in the ablutions that they are more integrated in walls or behind the mirror, but in here we keep it simple. But there are options to have them nice because these ones, the shapes are more simple, quite straight, and then we can apply any of these samples that this going. So imagine that we go to, I don't know, bronze color. So you have a changing room, but it's completely different to any changing room because of the finish of the tabs and the accessories. Okay, so what else we have in the basement? Apart of all the sports facilities, we have the lecture theater. Lecture theater in here. I'm just having time to time. Thank you. In here we apply another of the patterns. Oh, thank you, lovely. Thank you so much. So this space, we want to keep it also simple in the colors because at the end it's a space that most of the time the lights are going to be quite low. So there is no, if we can put a lot of colors, but at the end you are not going to appreciate. So it's one of the rooms that we keep the grays and whites. So what we want in here is a bespoke space. When I use the word bespoke, don't think on contractor price. Just think in design in this case, because at the end you have to design the walls anyway. But in here we go a bit farther than other studios. So basically we apply normal materials. In this case, it's the typical acoustic fabrics that when you go to the cinema and you see in the walls, you have the acoustic, these fabrics. So instead of going to the typical dark blue or dark red they have everywhere, we have of white color, but then we apply a printed pattern. And here we are using is the UK reference in one of the, we had the different patterns from India, Tanzania, from the UK. In the UK we use William Morris, that is like all the floral patterns. So we transform one of the patterns from William Morris to a dot pattern, so something more modern, and we apply this to the walls and the ceiling. So basically we print on the fabric that is going to be covering walls and ceiling, and we print the carpet we are using for the floor. So at the end is a normal material.
You had that discussion with the
Yes.
supplier, the
Yeah.
manufacturer?
Yeah. Because when you, for example, when you design a carpet, if you go to a carpet shop and you buy yourself, you are going to buy from the catalog. But when you are buying a lot of meters, they give you more options. And for example, we talk with this company. They make the design you want same price, just because you are buying a lot of meters. So this is not the pattern. This is just the quality for the.
This is difficult.
This is the quality, but it's not the pattern.
Just for the, so there'll be no food or drinks allowed in the theater?
This is managing thing.
No.
I don't know.
It will not be affecting the carpets?
No, because at the end, these carpets are not that delicate. This is really yeah, so you can clean, you can everything. But basically, normally you go and you buy, I don't know, this would be like 100 square meters of gray carpet. You go to the supplier and it's like, okay, give me more options. Like, okay, I can design a pattern just for you, same price. So it's what we have in here, okay? So we studied with them that we have this pattern for the walls. Can we apply the same for the floor? Yes, so we have a carpet design only for this building. And we are gonna use it just for the break.
Room carpet or carpet tiles?
No, this is like a long carpet. Yeah.
Victor, in this document here,
Yeah.
you have mentioned under several options, whether sanitary ware, whether it's wool, whatever, different finishes, prices actually.
Yeah.
You actually have mentioned prices, pounds or euros.
Pounds.
Some of them are in euros. So my question to you is that, are these prices off the internet, off the catalog?
No.
Is it negotiated price with the
This is the
contractor?
prices from the catalog submitted by the supplier at that time. But it's not the final price because at the end is when you discuss the units. Yeah.
So now let me try and, because you must have a very good reason. I've never come across that. Why have you actually put the prices here?
This was because as we thought we were discussing this like almost 1 year ago, to make you easier to take a decision was to say, okay, this type from Porcelanosa is 100, and this for this other company is 120. It affects to you, you prefer the price or the design. And we put it like this.
For our reason.
Yeah, but then,
I'm just wondering how will the contractor, how will it impact on the contractors who are pricing it at the moment, if they see the prices?
no, we submitted again without prices for the contractor.
You submitted the
Yeah,
prices?
without, yeah.
Thank God for that.
No, at the
But
end,
even so, I mean, it could be talked about, it could be discussed.
and these prices are unit prices, are not total because the supplier, they don't know how many.
No,
So
it's
if you
not.
say, no, I need 60 taps like this, they will not charge you this price, they will go
So it's
lower.
for us internal to make decision on
Yeah.
the prices.
With all these suppliers, have you used them before, or are you using them specifically for the?
Some of them we used them before, some of them they are new, but
Then do you have any special rate with them?
no,
No, you don't.
no, because
You don't-
they
you don't
are
negotiate
they
price.
are architects that they are involved in that. We are never involved in that.
Okay.
Maybe we should and we will be richer, but we are not.
Then there will be buyers.
No, because at the end we are not buying directly. This is more like, for example, sometimes interior designers for them is easier because they are involved in doing the tender or whatever. But for us, and because of the project that is a community center, so the only thing we did in every single conversation with them, we transmit the idea of it's a community project. They really are looking for the best price from you, and they are in that because the building is not any building, so it's something particular. All of them, they know that they will appear in the architectural journals or whatever with awards or something. So they want to be mentioned. So
I have not seen their standing order coming to us.
no, but for example, lighting.
Yeah,
No, we did most of the project is done with Delta Light.
yes.
Delta Light is a really big company, and they always said, okay, we do the proposal. We are not putting the money now. Maybe they are now they should price in everything, but they say like, please, we want to talk directly with them because we can offer different things. We can offer the best price, and also we can participate in the marketing because they are worldwide. So maybe we can launch the project everywhere. So it's good that we transmit this idea to all of them, so you can talk with them directly, and you can arrive to
It's
different type of
fantastic,
deals.
Great work. I mean, you've done the first few steps.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that, sir? Because I wasn't listening. For Delta Light.
For example, Delta Light, no? What we did with the lighting, to don't spend that much in consultants with the lighting consultant, we appoint Paul Nolte just for a few rooms, and then all the update of the building was done with only one supplier. So they proposed, they did a really nice proposal that we will check in and check in and check in and check in. But then they say, at the time of the pricing, we would like to talk directly with them because we can offer best price, but also we can help in terms of marketing because they are a big company and they can launch the building. They open the showroom. They have a nice showroom that we can do a meeting here.
Yes, I am gathering. Yeah, yeah.
So, and there is a top brand.
No, that's good.
It's a top brand, but they can adapt.
They are doing their marketing, they'll be using our building, so that we contribute as well.
So in this particular room, I want to understand that wall behind where the man is standing.
Yeah. So here we decide that we change it and we put curtains because at the end, when we had the conversation about the audiovisuals, we said that it's going to be a fixed screen in here. So to cover the screen, we are going to have the curtain, but the curtain is going to have with the same pattern as the carpet and the same color. So basically, you're going to see the floor going up and then involved with the things.
Okay.
That's his bed with his,
So what about the chair, the seating?
The seating is, in here we use a recognized brand, but also there are different options. They are Ferco. It's a British brand. So they are also happy to talk with you to decide if you are to a deal. If not, there are many options in the market. We want to them because we know that there is a big.
More comfortable than these chairs.
Yes.
Reclining.
Huh?
You can sleep.
You can sleep if the one that is talking is boring like me. You can sleep.
No, you got us on our toes.
The way the ceiling looks is difficult from this view, but
Yeah.
I guess all the lights and the projectors and things are all
Yeah.
just hidden. So you can't
Basically, the walls and the ceiling is you are going to have different steps in the walls too. Even we told that maybe we can avoid the ones on the walls to have more sittings. So the lighting is going to be integrated in these steps, and also all the equipment.
Looking from the back, you can't see it, but when you're looking from the front, you will see it.
Exactly. So basically, then as they are continuous lights, you control and you can have really like a warm light. But also in here, in the lighting drawings, a part of the lines, we have really small dots on the floor, giving lighting to the chairs because we were considering at some point that maybe we should have chairs with a folding table, something that has to be discussed.
I wanted to ask you guys, how important is it to have a table? So that, you know,
I don't think so. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's
He will need one, because he'll be drinking his coffee. He doesn't want to spill it.
There's very few places that you ever go that they have.
Yeah.
It's depending of here, it's more a lecture theater or it's more like a theater.
Like any, like the Royal Society of Medicine, you won't have any, you never have tables.
No, but you may have the horse and put your coffee.
just lift it.
Yeah.
Role of general practitioners.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, coffee.
But it's not important, yeah.
But is that?
No, everyone needs laptops, and otherwise you're going to be using
The cover of the laptop. Yeah.
tablets.
So,
Tablets to write notes. And using tablet, very difficult.
Yeah, when I sit in a lecture theatre, half the time I
so
like
I forgot to, I didn't see you, I should have asked you, you're the youngest.
No,
The
but when I
one
sit
who's going to use this the longest.
when I sit in a lecture theatre,
Yeah.
I like the tables are never all like properly put in place so you can sit there comfortably with your laptop.
Yeah.
So my laptop generally sits on my lap anyhow.
Okay.
So they're never really
Okay.
used.
But at university, I guess they do have the.
That's what put that note.
No, some one of my lecture theatres doesn't. It's just the ones that come out.
But here you'll need couples.
In terms
Either
of,
way, though, they're not like theatre.
They're just sitting on their food.
Okay, next.
hold on. Victor, in
Yeah.
terms of the size of them chairs, I mean, we were thinking of trying to capitalize on the space
Mhm.
by introducing more chairs.
Mhm.
Is that the optimum size that you've got there?
We cannot squeeze in more.
We cannot. And you think we cannot get smaller chairs?
No, because now
You've
you
looked
do-
into that, have you?
Yeah. We had the people from the FERCO, we did their own drawings based on drawings, and they say like,
This is it.
this is it. Yeah?
How many do we have? 82?
I don't remember now.
I think it's 82.
Yeah, the thing we were discussing that we can do something that in the disabled we can put some other chairs that you can remove.
With the late comments, you'll have to sit on the steps.
Yeah, once we, I mean, the next step, hopefully, we talk about the changes that we discussed previously.
Yeah.
And if you take the changes on the wall to reduce them, there is a potential of using more chairs.
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
we
So
can
that number
add
will
more
rise
like
up.
5 or 7.
Yeah. And the other idea we were thinking of, well, we've got the cluster of 4 disabled, whether we can have a track on the
Exactly,
floor, so
yeah.
we can move these and get
Yeah,
more
yeah.
additional chairs. That will increase the number as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
exactly.
these are the 2 options to increase the number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for example, in terms of finishes, we were considering maybe if we want to give more like a sophisticated image, this could be like fox leather, so looks like more like a
Yeah.
top, but also there are plenty of options. Basically in here, the main thing is going to be the pattern in the floor, and then the pattern in the walls that is going to be really
The
unique.
ceiling, is it MF ceiling?
A what?
Metal
No, everything is fabric, so it's going to be really comfortable.
No, the steps in the ceiling, that's plasterboard MF ceiling, isn't it?
No, everything here is the acoustic panels, fabric finish. Yeah.
So it's not like metal and covered with
No.
plasterboard? That is a composite panel of
Yeah, so the build-up of this is you have like a plasterboard boards,
Yeah.
and then attached on top you have the acoustic panel on the walls and on the ceiling.
I see.
So basically it's like a box of fabric. It's like a big
Sure.
cushion.
And then you step the ceiling as you come down to the theatre.
Exactly. And these steps are overlapping.
Yes.
So in the overlap is where you have the lighting,
have
the
the lighting,
speakers, and
yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. like an alcove.
Yeah, exactly. So the details are in the plans. You see all the things.
Teaching and training environment exists in the whole of Hamilton, and we should be able to capitalize and get good rate for businesses and colleges or whatever to come and utilize it.
If it's done properly as this, and we won't deviate from these finishes, I think it will be very, very attractive. Sure.
So basically here is the thing is the shape of the space that is stepped, then the material itself, because instead of being something called like a typical wall or the concrete, you have warmer material that everything is in fabrics, wall, ceilings, and the floor, and then we apply on top the pattern for this room.
Yeah.
Then the cafe, we go upstairs, ground floor again. We already talked about the cafe, no? The idea of going from the concrete to the...
Just show, sorry, go back. The serving hatch. Just show me the serving area. The serving area. You asked this question, yeah. You asked this question.
Yeah. So this is the serving area. So basically, it's, we have to imagine that we are creating like a homogeneous box, simple.
So you didn't, in the basement, you didn't talk about the beauty room.
No, in here we do have like a standard things. We have the concrete, we have white walls, white ceiling, to be applied with the operator. And also you will see now we have one slide for the back of the house too, to see how everything looks. But basically what we are considering here is like, we have the idea, this is a gallery, an art gallery for us. So we do homogeneous finish, simple, white, grays, and then we are creating art exhibitions inside. And it's where we apply the different material, the different colors, the different thing. So imagine that everything is concrete, and then we have one exhibition that is the cafe, is where we have all the timber and the bespoke ceiling. And then we have another exhibition here, is where we have the carpet with the bespoke timber, with the timber walls. So basically, the cafe, this is the image I showed you before, no? So we move from the cold to the warm, the same in the other way. We go from the cold to the warm in the prayer hall. Then in here is important the furniture we select to have a really sophisticated and modern image. But yeah, you see like everything works together. It's really calm, but you have shiny concrete, but you have matte concrete. You have matte white, but this could be shiny because it's metal white, but can be like another effect. We have the timber. The timber is important for us to discuss with you. We don't want to go to the typical timber that is polished. There are different effects, and also if you go to the Tate, you will see directly there because it's what they have. We have to go for the solid timber because of durability and everything is better because of all the people is going to be there. We would like to go to a small format because now everywhere they are putting the big things, but this looks more like we like it more, and then it's easier for this type of material. But then we like mattes instead of shiny, and in here they didn't have time to apply, but we want to apply a texture. So basically, this is the finish, the color, and the thing, and this is the texture we want to apply. Okay. In here, it's difficult to appreciate like something beautiful because it's just small.
And cleaning?
Cleaning, it works. It works. So the thing is, like, you have to go to the Tates, and you will see exactly this combination.
So you can
they have.
it as well, this room?
Yeah. The thing is, can get dirty, but then it's not like a delicate finish. You can like clean it like easily.
This is engineering floor.
This is engineering floor, and this is the solid.
This is solid floor.
Yeah, but also.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, and also this engineer, but with a thick. So because we have different options, you can have the wall of the. Let's see. Depending of the durability you want,
Yeah.
you have the last finish thicker.
The laminate.
Yeah.
The laminate.
So you can see, for example, this was the first option we had,
Yeah.
and it's just like 3 millimeters. Then we move to something like thicker, and this is like half centimeter.
Sure.
But at the end, they recommend to have full.
And I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
This is a public space.
Exactly.
It's going to be heavily used.
Exactly.
I would have that in my home, okay, comfortably,
Yeah,
and that would
exactly.
last 20, 30 years. But to have this last in 20, 30 years, it's
Exactly.
quite comfortable with that.
So if you go to the Tate, you will see some rooms, they have concrete,
Sure.
and then just the room next door
Yeah.
is this, and the combination looks really beautiful. Because you go to a really like
Cold.
cold to warm, and then nothing is And it's the opposite because the shiny is the concrete, and the matte is the timber. So it's like so take this better. Also, in the you see here the finish a bit better because this piece is better. So yeah, so we are playing with the different tones of the same material, no? And everything is white. One is glossy, the other one is matte. One is plain, the other one is with the shapes.
That red square is the entrance to the prayer hall, is it?
Yeah. So in the cafe, one of the things we were talking with the SAS. We strongly recommend this company for the ceilings because the ceilings we are doing in metal, they are the most difficult. The one with the timber, we can adapt. But this is, so we went for the top brand. That is the one, last year, the Architectural Awards in the UK, they give the prize to the Bloomberg building. It's Norman Foster's building in the city. So the ones that did the ceilings is this company. And it was something completely bespoke, that they were kind of flowers, la, la, la. So in this case, we adapt this system that they already have in triangles, and they move only like this. We adapt this system to diamond shape, and instead of moving like this, they move like this. So we have this idea of a dome, but a geometric dome, so it's going up, and they modify this system for the shape, and then they fill the gaps with the metal, so you have like a nice geometrical dome going up with the lights integrated in it. So this is, let me go to the really beginning.
What makes the ceiling move? Ceiling tiles move?
They have a system. We were discussing this a lot. They had a system that was like a cable taken from the vertex of the things, but at the end they are just like doing like big pieces with some of the pieces together. Yeah. So they attach like in groups.
Sure.
So this is to go. This is the reference. In here, from this building, one of the nicest things they have inside are the ceilings. The ceilings are geometrical, and they are just moving in horizontal. Everything is flattened, and they have these different shapes moving in this way. So we adapt this to like a new and modern design. So we take the concept of geometric shapes moving in this angle. So we translate this to this. So basically, you are in the cafe, you have a big metallic dome with the pieces moving and the lighting and the speakers, everything integrated. So it's going to be really like really attractive.
What does move the ceiling? Is there a motor?
No, not it's moving. I mean, it's moving. I say it's fixed, but they are not plain. They create a dome.
I have designed ceiling where they have louvers, then louvers moves with
No, I know. But no, sorry, it was my.
Motorized.
No, everything's standing.
Dome structures, I mean, not a mosque, like it's different. But does it affect acoustics? Like, when you go to a dome, you talk, it is exaggerating.
But this ceiling is acoustic itself. Okay. They have micro perforations. Okay. So depending of the final requirements, they adapt the size of the perforation and the quantity of perforation. We can go like maybe everything is micro perforated, or maybe we only need micro perforated the center, or some of them like 0.5 millimeter, and the other is 2 millimeters diameter. So everything has to be.
What you said earlier on, when we settle on all the finishes, when the contractor says that needs to be visited by the acoustic.
Exactly. That's for sure.
That the
exactly.
The acoustic properties all be maintained.
Yeah. And then, as this is quite peculiar, that has to be done for something really good. In this case, we recommend to stay with this company or equivalent. If there is any company that they do this kind of bespoke ceilings, perfect. But then don't go to something really standard because maybe we just have a really bad result.
That's a quick question, because when you have these different like MYAA, whatever designs, are these like you're just using their concept, or is it like copyright designs?
No. We are inspired with too. You will see in here. In here we're inspired because of the metal finish and the shape. In here, the pattern. In here, also the pattern. But for example, we are using the triangle pattern and we do it with the lines. In here, we take this idea of we have different shapes, but with this is a star, this is a kind of L shape, this is another rectangle. So we take this variety of shapes to combine. We said, okay, we go to the diamond, but maybe the diamond is with lines, the other one is flattened. So it's just like an idea. We don't copy straight away, it's just to be inspired. And it's also, it's easier to explain where the things came from if we have like a concept. But basically, the cafe area is gonna be really attractive because of that, because you came from a gray and full of lights to a something warmer in a corner, and then with this stunning ceiling metal with the integrated lighting in it, and then the furniture. Then the prayer hall is the other exhibition, the other art room. So in here we really want to have a really warm and welcoming effect. So normally in the new mosques they are quite, to be honest, they do quite the standard spaces, like it's just a big room to allocate a lot of people with a carpet, and that's it. For us, it's the main room, so it has to be thought like a kind of a auditorium. It's something like has to be impressive. So we combine basically the carpet, timber on the walls, and then a massive chandelier. So for us, the ceiling is a chandelier. So what we have in here? In here we have all the walls. For example, if you go to maybe they use it like in libraries or places where you want to feel quiet, warm, when you want to focus. We use this, this not this exactly, because they have to adapt. These vertical louvers, okay, timber, we can choose, there are many options of the type of timber, something we will choose later. In vertical, all along the walls, the Qibla wall also. Also, where we have the balcony, we have the same louver turning and becomes the ceiling. In here, we will have integrated in vertical lines the speakers, the ventilation and everything, so everything will be integrated in here. And we will have also some lights integrated in there, always in these spaces, because this is not this system, but at the end you can have it blocked or can be open, so it can be like a ventilation system or whatever else we can adapt. So we have this on the walls. Also, we will have the carpet with a pattern that this is the reference we are taking from the building I showed you before. That building is impressive because the dome has a kind of also geometrical shape in golden and blue, metal blue colors. So we are taking these two ideas from there. One is the carpet, we want to do a gradient from the Qibla wall to the entrance, where we use these diamond pieces. They start from blue. They make a gradient where the triangles, they are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So when they came smaller, they turn into the blue, to the yellow, to the gold. So you will have a really nice effect of going from dark to light, and in these like stronger colors, blue and yellow. And the other thing is, in the ceiling we have natural light. We have, I think we have 10 skylights, but instead of having just a hole on the ceiling, we have all these metal diamonds pending, creating this big effect. So when the lights are on, it becomes like a natural light chandelier, so it's all the light coming through and all the panels are shining. When it's night time, all the lighting and the speakers are also integrated behind these points, so they became like a real lamp. So basically here we have these three options, these three things. We have the gradient carpet, the warm timber walls on the walls, and then this big ceiling chandelier. And we consider that can be a really like.
So you can't ever have it dark.
Sorry?
In the daytime it'll always be light.
It will be always light.
You
You can block. If it's necessary, then on the skylights they can be at blind, but we didn't consider because it wasn't required at the moment. But it's something that can be at. So basically, this is the mood. No, you have a gradient carpet, the light timber on the walls, the big metallic chandelier, and then what we were discussing is the mihrab. We consider that can be like a piece of art. So we can, because it depends on how you manage the building, but we consider that the prayer hall should be open all the time. Even you have because even when you walk through, if you see this space, and then we consider the mihrab at the end, we imagine this just with a natural light, or even at night that there's no light at all. And here, if you have like a piece of art with lighting all the time, imagine walking along this space and you see this there. So it's really evocative. It's something that you have an art exhibition there and something like really inspiring. So for the reason, we were considering like talking with some art companies, and for the reason we sent you a video that was this company. They reproduce surfaces from the nature. They take a rock and they copy the surface and they create a rock surface or whatever, and the things they apply something else. For example, they did a surface that is a rock, but it's a rock that breathes, so it's moving. So you see a massive rock that is peacefully like breathing with some lighting, so that could be like stunning. So they can do these kind of things. So it's good to talk with them. If not,
So when you go to Hajj, in your loo,
no, but for example, they have.
Hajj means take a photo of your order, so the black stone.
So far, my only worry so far
Is
are
what
twofold.
someone's
One
gonna
is the
tell us
cleaning
about
of that
it.
wall.
Well, I was going to pick that up.
With dust
The,
in between.
the cleaning of the wall, which I was going to say,
Yeah.
the ventilation system must be the top-notch system to create air movement so that there's no dust settling.
Yeah.
The extraction and the supply.
And it's through the wall.
Yeah.
But my other thing is that people sit around this hole against the wall. To sit against this wall is going to be hard. I'm just wondering whether this carpet can be taken up to this height to create a softer sit back.
Then I prefer to design a cushion that is a kind of prisma that you can move around, and then if you go through the wall, you put the cushion there.
That's another option.
No, and then you can use this to just to be sitting in the center of the room, and you have something that you can, and it's just like a long cushions, like geometric cushions there.
So what's your feeling towards bringing up the carpet to about, say, 600, 700 millimeters up the wall?
You won't like it.
You wouldn't like it. You wouldn't like it. We
I
would
do
like
that.
it.
What if it's not the same carpet, but just one color going all the way? No?
Because the thing, then you are starting creating joints. When you create a joint, you reduce the perception of the space. You have something else, and you already have three string things happening there. So it's better we don't add things. I think we can play with like furniture with that. And it's better, because I think you have to consider that all of these are doors, they are hiding things behind storage, the AV. So you are complicating the system.
Opposite wall.
Just,
The back wall.
I don't think it's going to be a solution, because,
People need to sit against the wall.
yeah, but doing with carpet is not going to be the
So what
solution.
we're saying, there is a requirement to have some soft backing to about 600 or 700 millimeters high. We need to come up with an answer, whether that's going to be carpet or cushion, and it needs to be built in to go with your architectural concept, if you like.
So I guess what I need to think about it, but just
Yeah,
like a
sure.
first option, I will play with some furniture that can be put it on the perimeter, can be put it in the center or whatever. So you can even, it's more comfortable because you can even put your elbows there.
It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. It cannot be movable furniture. It needs to be almost like fixed furniture.
So
That's the problem.
furniture would keep on
Because-
moving and
yeah.
hassle
No,
and
only hassle.
storing.
It gets
So
scattered in the middle
what
of
about if the bottom bit here has got the carpet on the stone, on the
No. Then it's, we should reconsider it, but I think it's more comfortable this than having a typical wall. Because you go to a warmer material, so it's not like going, well, this is because it has like a plastic on top, but if you go to a typical plaster thing, it's going to be damaged, it's going to be, but this is timber, it's a furniture itself.
I thought
So it shouldn't be,
even harder to sit against that, to lean back against that.
it's like a chair,
It's like a chair, no?
timber chair?
it's a timber chair, yeah, it's not a sofa, but it's a chair. But we can consider it, but I think it's not the solution of adding something here, then I will suggest to change
Can you think
all
about it?
along.
Can you think about it?
We will.
Because
Yeah.
that is important.
That, on a serious note, this is quite
This is
important
important.
requirement,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because people will use the back wall every direction, and they need some kind of soft cushion similar to these.
There are certain number of
But do we have
percentage,
soft cushion?
maybe 10 to 15% of the
Do we
people
have soft cushion?
of the congregation will need support to sit on the wall.
Then,
Can I also add 10 to 15% of the people will actually want to sit on a chair as well.
and then what about if we change the finish of this wall in here?
Yes,
And this is more like a softer surface,
We can do that.
so they can see more in this.
but that is what,
Not,
so,
it may not be sufficient.
okay, so the question is, the back, when you're sitting on the, against the wall, if it is a timber wall, it is like sitting on a timber chair.
I guess.
In fact, even the slatted timber, the louver timber, is more comfortable than sitting on a flat timber chair.
Yes.
It's more comfortable.
And it's warmer.
It's warmer, yeah. It's
So
more
is it
comfortable.
worth changing it for that? Because I mean, otherwise,
So we need to design the chairs.
And you have to think about 15% of the population will, 20% sometimes, well, by that time it would be. No,
sitting
because
on a chair.
they would be want to sit on a chair, they won't be able to squat on the floor, even prayer, the
Mhm.
prayer is sitting on a chair. So how do we, where do we keep the chairs? I mean, do we keep the chairs? What I'm saying that do we
You have chairs,
we keep the
storage
chairs
here.
there? What type of chairs? Should it be just standard chairs, or should we have bespoke?
There'll be fake chairs, I guess.
Before no. These are- It's got to be in line with those.
Design, yeah?
Static chairs, I guess. Has to be, otherwise it look odd.
It has to be wooden chairs.
Wooden chairs designed like that.
Yeah.
And is that,
Huh?
what will be the distance between the two vertical lines? I mean, when this comes, when does the next line come?
No, imagine it. They're all like this, physically.
All of
This,
them are like this?
Yeah.
yeah, everything
Exactly like this.
is like this.
Okay,
Cleaning.
Something, okay, bigger version of this. A bigger version of this.
So even this,
Yeah.
Munira is worried about cleaning as well. Cleaning.
Maintaining.
So he thinks that the ventilation will be such that there will be no dust gathering.
Of course, you need some maintenance. You have to clean it, but it's just like a.
You vacuum clean like this. Vacuum, right?
Yeah.
Good vacuum.
line, then it's fine to keep it in there.
It's the cobwebs you got to be worrying about.
This is not the final thing. It's just a sample. But
But it's a bigger version of this, right?
yeah, it's a bigger version of this. Yeah.
So the other thing is, going through a screen job.
By the way, this is really good.
It's nice. Like it?
This is African stuff.
Hmm? Oh, good.
So we should have that in our thing as well.
Very quick.
And the second thing is, what about fixed shelving? The
Yeah,
shelf
we got
there.
shelves.
Huh?
We got shelves.
Do we need a shelf?
We need shelves.
For the books.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, in the design is included some benches that you can move, and they are the shelves, so it's where you can store it.
Where you really come to the bench.
It's something that you can move. There is the same size of the carpets, these tiles.
Yes.
So there are some benches. We already put in there, and I think we count 10 in here, 10 upstairs.
I didn't see which drawing is it in?
In the joinery plans, you will see. Yeah, should be there. No, it's not there. It's in the place where are all the desks and everything. There is like this. We consider these benches, and before we had shelves upstairs,
Yes.
but we asked to remove them because you didn't want to collect books
This is located in the prayer hall.
Yes.
in the prayer hall. Yeah, the prayer hall.
But then they will take up space from the prayer area.
Yeah, it's so if you really want to have shelves, then we have to think about integrated in the walls. We have we have a space for doing that. Hmm.
That's a very, so we got this.
No, what I suggest, sorry, is why don't we have 5 minutes break, and then we'll have work and lunch if you like. So, 5 minutes break. Break time? Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, and so basically, when we were discussing about the art piece, there are options that they are cheaper. Instead of having an art piece, we can do the MYAA with some lacquers, that they are not the typical things, that they are like metal effects.
This is the mihrab board.
Yeah, this is just a lacquer, but it's metal effects, so we can do, and this is acetone.
And the plan is to have it reflective.
Exactly, having something really stunning with lighting and everything, so it's like a jewel, something that is really stunning. But we will be good to consider first that option, talk to them. They have a really nice place in Greenwich. They have the atelier, so they work for HSBC and these companies. They have really nice stuff. They have a concept they want to show you, they want to talk to you. Could be nice just to talk to them to see what's happening. Is that book there? Is this book?
Yeah, we've seen it.
If it doesn't work because of the price, it's not cheap, I tell you, but because it's a piece of art.
Small area, and it's just
Yeah.
a mihrab only.
So if it doesn't work, we have options to do something different.
This is the preferred option.
Exactly.
So this is the second option.
Yeah. So that's this thing. What else? So upstairs basically is as the balcony is connected because it's like a curved glass. From this level, you are gonna see all the ceiling. You're gonna see all the chandelier, so it's gonna be impressive being here because you're gonna have this view. You're gonna see all the timber inside. So we keep.
Won't you have a
It's going to be a step. In here it doesn't appear, but it will be only a step. Before we had different options, but before we had open without glass, and it was like kind of a handrail with the shelves.
Yes.
Then we said to remove. Yeah. So we took
Ceiling to
floor to ceiling, yeah, to avoid the noise and everything.
Now that I can see the carpet a little bit better, so the carpet does not delineate the lines of the prayer?
We'll have. This is just like a initial concept. But yeah, we will have the lines.
We will have the lines.
Yeah. But we want to develop in a way that instead of having the lines, maybe the gradient already marks the different 1.2, 1.2, 1.2. So these are things that once you appoint the supplier, we talk directly with them and we design specifically the final design. And it's a hard work to be done.
Chandelier cleaning, just remember that.
In here is the same that the lighting maintenance. So time to time you need one of these platforms that they go up and you need to do the maintenance. But it always happens with the double spaces. You need this kind of a machinery time to time.
Seriously, I see your point that ZEF will hopefully do the ventilation such that there's minimal amount of dust,
Exactly.
but it would still need to be
Oh,
cleaned.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once a year or more often?
Once a year, I think would be more than enough, yeah. For
Once a year.
places of that, yeah, once a year. Or routine, part of the maintenance for that building. Yeah, and there would be a lot of regimes that need
So looking at that one of those triangles, what is
Yeah.
that material again?
Metal. It's aluminium. Aluminium coated with a metal finish, like bronze. Our idea is to go from dark bronze, lighter, and then go into white or, to white to have also a gradient. To focus, the idea is to focus all the attention to the Qibla wall and then the mihrab. And the carpet will be the same pattern, but then in here is where we'll be discussing that, but this is something that we need to clarify. We were applying two different qualities because we consider that this level is going to be more traffic. So we were something like it's shorter, the hair is shorter and it's more compact. It's true that it's more comfortable when it's longer, but then it's something that we only need to decide. And one is hand tapped, and the other one is like I don't remember the name, but it's the other system.
And did this carpet go all the way to the rooms as well?
Basically, we have the two qualities and different patterns. We apply the highest quality because the hair is longer in the prayer hall ground floor, and then the rest of the rooms they have the same quality. This the other one is shorter, but then we apply different patterns in this room.
No, but the thickness, I talked to you already,
Yeah.
so here you're going to decide what kind of thickness it's going to be.
Yeah. So we suggested, because it's what we talked with the input we had at that moment, that ground floor 1 and the rest, the other ones, because in some points you have, for example, the youth center, you have furniture on top, so we went to the shortest, but it's up to you. If you consider that in this space you want thicker carpet, it's not a big deal for us. At the end, it's just choosing the thing. But it's also thinking like if you put tables and everything, a sticker is you're gonna see all the things sticking there.
On what decision did you make that women should have a thing? I mean, women play
So,
a role.
because discussing with the suppliers, they have different type of size of the hair based on the traffic and the activity that is happening on top. So in here we consider that you are like on the floor, so it has to be comfortable for the knees, and even if you are sitting, has to be comfortable, more like a kind of cushion. For us, should be the same upstairs, but as this space is multi-purpose, that there are going to be tables, there are going to be activities with more people standing, then they consider that should be something like a bit more robust. So it means another type of component and then another size.
No, but there will still be women who will still be.
Yeah, so in here we have to find the balance. Maybe it has to be something in between.
Main prayer hall, they will still be like the people disabled, and so we will have the same.
So maybe it has to be something in between, and has to be because of the transit, the traffic, that quality, but the size of the hair maybe is longer, because this is a bit more delicate. It's not only the size; it's the component. This is like more natural, and the other one is more synthetic. But it's things that we need to consider. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I agree that there will be more because usually women will have more children. And
Yeah.
women we will have more children.
But it was more for the. Yeah, it's not for the people. It's for the activity that we.
The usage.
Yeah.
Just use it. So on this floor, we're saying, often I don't know how often, but we'll be thinking about putting tables and chairs there.
No, because the idea.
Wedding reception
That would be there.
Yeah, for the reason in here we have all this is the called to be named to be like the prayer hall. In here we have the classes, but we can remove all these partitions, and they come in this storage. That so became a big space for multi-proposal. So we were told that could be like meetings, can be like wedding receptions. So for the reason we went to something more heavy-duty finish, but we can find something in between that works for both options.
So the issue that we are having is that when you have wedding receptions, etc.,
Sorry.
people will be coming without removing their shoes.
Yeah.
And so for that, the option was, we are thinking is that maybe we need to
Remove.
the carpets and have a harder floor for that purpose. How would that work?
Then the thing is, I will propose all this surface with the timber, because follows our criteria where we are having like an activity happening, but we don't want the concrete because it has to be warmer. We move to the timber, so will be like a big space in timber. That could be amazing. Then we have to think where to storage the carpet. How shouldn't be a problem because we do rolls, we roll them. But then maybe we can think about here or creating a kind of drawer along the glass where you can keep these rolls. This should be at the end, maybe it's like 60 or 80 centimeters diameter roll. So yeah, we can think about that.
Because that would be the biggest problem.
Yeah. So in this way, we can have same quality of carpet for praying, and then we remove, and we have another floor heavy for the other activities. Yeah. Okay. So I take note of that.
We have talked about for namaz, yeah? So we have talked about this repeatedly in various discussions, and I think the final conclusion was that this floor has to have a non-carpeted floor. Because it will be non-carpeted flooring that will be utilized most of the time for letting conferences, weddings, conferences, or people walking, wedding receptions, whatever. And the times that we need to pray on this floor, we will have either those very thin sheets that we had originally, but better quality.
Thin sheets. You're going to sit there.
Okay, or
or what he's suggesting will help, but once you have rolled carpets, then you have to think about storing them.
No, he's saying how to store it.
Didn't you already just said?
He just said how to store
Didn't you
it.
already said? What he said is that you have carpets, these strips. They're rolled up into there, rolled up into there. Yeah.
Yeah, we can find a system.
I think you do that, that would be brilliant.
Against the wall.
If you can do that, it would be brilliant.
No automatically rolled.
What is it?
Well, we were talking.
Big ones you could have
Apparently, there is in Canada, there is a school where the sports hall is the prayer hall, and they remove the timber. It's the opposite. They have the timber. It's not going to happen here, but it's on rails. So when they have to pray, a big platform just disappears, and then the carpet appears underneath. So here's doing something more like simple, and in the opposite, rolling. You need then to build another building here to hide all the things. No, but I think
That's not quite good, just as yet.
You know, in Heroes they have roles,
Yeah.
just prayer mat, right? So if they want to use for functions and things, they remove this when they're
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Otherwise, if they will think up, just roll them out, right?
Yeah. So basically, it's
That's the option there.
No, but if you use a thin one,
Yeah. Well, I don't think the prayer carpet.
Have some sandwich.
Well, Heroes match they are quite comfortable enough.
Please.
Big hole downstairs.
So we have concluded, we'll have rolled carpets.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it will be hard floor.
And the base is hard surface,
Yeah.
hard
Can
tip.
you go back to that image again? The image. Computer generated image, first floor. So my other problem is, remember this is all glass, huh? So if there's a ladies' function here, and you don't want people on the ground floor to look.
We have a curtain here. We agreed that we are going to have an electric, a motorized curtain. So on the sides, boom, and it's going to cover everything. So you have full privacy.
So is this glass right at the top?
Yes,
ceiling?
yes.
So it's a soundproof.
Yeah. No, we have the glass for that because we had glass, then we changed it to an open balcony, but because of the privacy, we moved back to glass. Basically, here we'll have acoustic. We have 2 layers. In here is quite basic thing, but we're gonna have one glass, 10 centimeters void, and another glass, so you block 100% the noise.
So people on this floor, there could be a wedding function, it could be a non-Muslim wedding function that we have hired, there could be a degree of music there. We might want to restrict halal music there, okay. And we might be praying downstairs there.
Yeah. And
Might be main as well.
yeah, and then it's gonna be.
Maybe, because that's
Might be praying there while there is a function of
okay.
non-Muslims.
Now, so do we need that, what do you call this, mihrab? Do we need that?
Sorry?
This,
The mihrab is in the ground floor.
This is the ground floor. This is the ground floor, but you have the view.
Okay, all
So
right.
from upstairs,
It's just, okay.
so from upstairs you see the voids in the main one.
Can see you upstairs, what you're doing.
Exactly.
That
No, the thing is like
He's allowed.
when the
He's got special permission.
when the curtains are open, you have a nice view of the Qibla wall with the mihrab, and you have the same feeling that when you are downstairs. And then when you need to divide the activities, you just close the curtains, and then there's a speaker system where you are gonna listen the imam in the same way, and there will be screens, so the sound and the visuals and everything is gonna be connected.
Would a curtain look nicer and would it be cheaper than the touch button converting that glass wall?
In here, I think we cannot do the conversion because of the curve.
Curvature.
So we are gonna have the curtain is electrical, you touch a bottom, and the curtain is like a theater, boom, 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 they close it, and will be like a nice velvet. Yeah.
Yeah, not normal curtains. That's
Yeah.
right.
The only problem is the kids.
Why? What's?
The kids that open the curtains every time, right?
It will help it to be a degree of.
So
But if you
What
get a heavy curtain, it will be difficult.
yeah,
Someone-
and maybe we can do that at the end. They have like buttons or a Velcro or something that you stick, and the kids that they don't know. Right? So.
We're looking at how the spacing, where to cut the stage, and because just now because you can adjust the. So because you're looking at if you have an event here, and So we have to create a stage.
Yeah, okay.
Like stage where people will be like facing,
Mhm.
using. And because generally when you go to an event and you can't see the stage, it looks very bad. So for example, if you have a stage here, right? So these people might not be able to see.
They will,
Right?
yeah.
Through glass, they will be able to see.
Yeah, but the glass will have a curtain, right?
If it's closed, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And similarly,
But-
if you're seated here, you can't see.
But you have
So can you-
screens.
Yeah, but yeah.
Because we have a camera in this direction,
No,
another one
I
in there.
understand the screens, but look, I do events, so people, even if good screens,
They
don't
want to
they
see,
want
yeah.
right? So what I mean, this can this be like curved like that? No.
Everything can be adjusted, but at the end you are
So
going to
what
have
is it here? What is here on this? On
servery.
the same floor? Eh?
Servery. So here there is also serving.
Serving. So you can't. I mean, if you reduce a bit like that, so that they can see, would it be affected?
No,
so if
we
you have a
can
stage
adapt.
here, for example,
Mhm.
then I mean, one way is to have a stage here.
This is very important. So one of the discussion that we had, Ahmad is right, that we move the server away from there and we put the server here.
Well, not in here because then you are blocking like the nice sitting area where is the space where you have all the windows in the 3 sides. So if you are putting this, you are losing a nice space. You see the south block, you see the garden. Maybe we have to allocate it, I don't know.
And also the concept of having, linking the two, you gotta go circle there, so that.
This is the natural position because you
We
have
want to put a bridge to connect the two. Last
planning for planning.
That's another planning. So think about it, Ahmad is right. More we can open this up, so that, what is it called, mandip, what's this called? What's the stage called? There's a bit of
No,
a
you can
stage.
you can reduce this.
You can reduce
You
it.
can reduce it. You cannot remove it because you have the staircase in here. So you already have a volume here, so that is blocking. So it's a natural space for putting the serving,
And then the stage is here.
and the stage can be here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So if the
yeah.
stage is here, where are we putting our cameras? The cameras at the moment here.
Yeah. I think one was. We had 2 sets. One here, one here. Yeah. This is to be designed with the AV.
In some functions, there might be a partition, yeah, it is ladies and gents.
There's another floor.
Yeah. Here we have all these partitions that you can remove to have the classes or to have like an open space. And also in here is something that we wanted to discuss.
So what he's saying is that all these are movable partitions.
Yeah, but then
If
from
you don't
there,
have,
will you be able
so,
to see the screen or whatever?
so if you want to have, if it's partitions, obviously you can't see, from here you can't see there. What you could see is obviously if there's a camera, you can see the camera there, so these people here can see what's happening, because there'll be, what screens everywhere else.
No, like when we went to this one, we went to the reception, whose was it? Just now?
Mahmood.
Mahmood's. Yeah, so there was a partition in between, yeah, the ladies
Even
and gents.
this
It's not uncommon.
upstairs in
You're gonna say no, seriously.
Sadiq's sister, yeah, well, the small hall, they had a partition in between.
There's a large number of people who watch on the platform.
That's what I'm saying,
How
so,
many people can sit in a room?
So I was saying before 500, but this we will say it's none of the
I think that maybe the best position is to put the stage in here,
on the table.
so everybody sees in this way.
200, 200.
Your table layout.
Yeah, 200, 200. Nowadays, most sections are.
We had 200 ladies, and I don't know how many.
Yes, listen to this one.
Yeah,
Even the one we are going to today is about 250 in the house in the market
Yeah,
place.
the more efficient camera.
How much were they in even this one?
My reception, Amar, you are talking about which? Amar and Mariam's. Okay, we were sitting down on the floor.
No, the reception, I mean, cake cutting.
Cake cutting, yeah, so, but, okay, we didn't have tables and we just had chairs, right? But with Yasir, he had some tables, so he had the whole hall, and they were 300 to 400.
So aren't you going to have it? How about if you have it in
Maybe
the
300, yeah, we
sports
were
area?
upstairs, Yasir's table. Yeah, there were tables downstairs. So he had
will have sports hall
Cake cutting,
the whole year, right?
whatever day.
Oh,
We
so
had
we can hire, if there are more people inside, we
Okay,
can
not
hire
from
the.
table, but
Yeah, so that's.
I mean, I tried, but I failed to debate with some of the guys who think that there would only be 200 people in reception, is to get rid of this corridor effect altogether.
210.
Huh?
They get another 10 seats. 10. Much more extra.
So in here,
It won't make much difference because the corridor is not worth.
in here we have this partition that we also need to discuss because at the moment we have a glass partition with a film on top with a pattern, but can be instead of that can be like a timber maravilla, also with a pattern that we can design. But on the meeting we had 2 months ago, 1 month ago, we were talking that maybe these are like movable also, so we can remove all these partitions to have a bigger space.
So if you could do that, if you can move the partition, then you can also move it to make your partition. So that would be your storage, to have the partition would be actually making your corridor.
Where will the people move around?
So they came from here, they go in, so they can access here, or they can go around and they go to the classes, or access when everything is open, they can go from everywhere. We also need to consider that here we have the terrace, so what we were discussing is like for the privacy. So this acts as privacy because it's in between, but if we remove this, maybe we have to add some blinds or something in the windows to block these views. So
There's a roof garden there that will also be visible, unless you make the roof garden exclusive for the reception area.
We talked about having an extra wall or something between the door and the room.
yeah, because what we were discussing is like if this works together with that, maybe we also need to block the views in here or also in here. So for the reason we were considering all this, the windows to have incorporated blinds, screens inside, so you can block them. So this became like a big space working all together.
So about the double door for the entrance to the...
Yeah, then you block here and you lock it, and then from here you can access.
Seems a lot to Salaam Centre.
So basically it's like you have plenty of options. It depends on how you operate the building. But you can have interior spaces, exterior spaces, especially they work together, and male, female, everything mixed, so it's flexible.
For the entrance to the bread. Because if it's women using that, then are we not having a second door?
There's supposed to be a second. No, there's supposed to be a screen.
Or a screen or something, whatever it was.
There is a screen.
Is there?
There is the screen is in here. It's from here.
No, yeah, so when someone opens so say the women are in that room.
So what
Yeah.
you're saying is that screen,
Yeah.
if you were to extend it a bit further to there, so that it's in line with that door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah.
Everything is possible, it's just that,
I don't
point
know.
the design of the room.
I'm just saying, look, in terms of practicality, I don't know. You have to
Functionality is an odd shaped.
This is a problem with architecture, the way they made it, this so awkward shape.
You hire us. We do these shapes.
It's got the answers.
Okay, next term is
So, okay, the ablutions. So we have exactly the same ablutions downstairs and upstairs. So as is part of the circulations, but it's linked with the noble space of the building that is that, we want to have a really clean, modern, and sophisticated image. It's not for us. It's not considered like a public space. It's more like the bathrooms of a nice hotel or a nice restaurant, like the VIP lounge of an airport, Heathrow, for example. So we use the same type of materials, but with another final finish. So we keep the concrete floor because even for cleaning, it's better to don't have any joint, so continuous. But it's concrete polished, yeah. Then what we change is we don't like tiling on the walls, so also we want.
Can I ask you when it's concrete? I asked before. I think we met into a joke, but sometimes you have special shoes. Normal shoes you might slip.
Mm-hmm.
Slip.
No, because it's also at the end. Is that you can apply something on the final resin that is a bit with a bit of a texture. Yeah, so it's not. So it will be exactly it can be exactly the same that outside, but can be with a typical. So basically, in here we want complete continuous surfaces. So walls and ceiling, instead of being tiles or painter, we will have a marmorino effect, like a plaster, polished plaster. So it will give a really good quality to the space, and it will be linked with the.
This is plastered finish.
This is plaster finish, but it's the stucco, Venetian stucco. So it's something that they apply different layers and whatever. And at the end, becomes like a piece of marble too. So everything is continued. Touch it. It's
This is for the
even
ceiling
fresh.
or wall?
This is wall and ceiling.
Wall and ceiling?
Yeah.
And
It's water resistant and it's everything.
you paint it or this?
No, no, no. You choose the color. You can have this in any color.
Yeah,
So the final finish, you will put it.
fantastic.
Exactly.
That would be really.
So, and then it has a kind of.
Difficulty getting people out of this room.
So everything, the walls and the ceiling and the floor will have this shiny effect, but in a nice way, not like too much. Will be everything like a big continuous surface. Then we combine this with if we have the cubicles in the changing rooms like just plain colors to have like this more like a young and fresh effect. In here we consider that we have something more serious. So with the same materials, we can have like veneer effects. This is just one option.
Same material.
Yeah, because it's formica. Yeah, no, the same material that in the partitions downstairs, but we can have, and the same. When you see a small sample, you don't have the real effect. When you have like a big wall, because we have all the cubicles, the doors are floor to ceiling. We don't, everything is really private. So so basically we have the continuity of floor, walls, and ceiling, then this veneer effect on the walls, and then we play with the material of the future, that is the one we have in the facade, that is the solid surface, but applied for sanitary. So we have the ablution sitting area that also we want to play like it's a special space. So we have a different ceiling that is open with the lighting on top, that is the effect of natural light going in. So the floor, this part of the wall, and the sittings will be with this material. Crayon, exactly. And then it's a shame that it's a pity that we don't see perfectly this, but then we have the basin here that is cantilever. It's just this thickness. It's this. So you have, it's a kind of a shelf with a bit of inclination, so the water is just moving on top of that. Instead of having the heavy ones, you have a really thin basin that is just like collecting the water. It's going to be really beautiful. No, because this has the perfect inclination, and this, depending of the position of the tap, the pressure of the water, then doesn't matter. So this is what we had before, like with porcelanosa we can create different shapes, but they already have this system that works perfectly because they have like different like panels that you open for maintenance or whatever. It works, has the sizes we need, so even apparently it's more expensive, but at the end it balances because we don't need to fabricate something on top. And there are different effects. They have plain white, they have like marble effects, they have black if we want a big contrast. And then the other thing is all the accessories will be, we don't like chrome, as I told you. We like the metal effect in matte. They have different options. And then all the accessories, they will be integrated in the walls, beams, everything. And then we receive the input to integrate things in the mirror. So we have the option of everything behind the mirror. We can have the hand dryer and the soap dispenser. So at the end, you only have in the walls bins, and the rest is integrated. In here, we have to consider the circulation of the people. We have to really think about, because if you put, the bad thing of having here the hand dryer is you keep the people more time in front of the basin. So for the reason, our first idea was moving the hand dryer in a wall, because then you make the people moving.
I think that's a very good point.
Hand.
You can actually get hand dryers next to the basin, but his point is that move the basin.
Yeah, because if we go to the, the layout here will be small, sorry. Basically, it's the entrance is in here. You have cubicle here, cubicle, and then you have the basin, and in here you have the ablution. So if we have the people, everything here, every time in here, there's going to be queues. But our idea was you wash yourself in here, but then you can dry yourself in here. So you make the people going around. But
This is the first floor you're showing.
both floors are the same.
So how many
This is the first floor you're showing.
Yeah, this is the first floor.
So what,
Ground floor is exactly
what,
the same.
Yeah.
And the women's on the ground floor, who there is exactly the same.
The two that are in the same position are the same. Then there is another one there that is smaller.
yeah,
That's
so
three
what,
areas.
yeah, yeah.
So that's three
Yeah.
areas altogether, yeah?
This and the one just below are the same. And then there is another one downstairs
Yeah.
in this area that they are smaller.
But the same finish.
Yeah, except the same finish, yes.
How many cubicles are there for sitting down and being wudu?
So it's
For-
two sitting and 4 taps.
And then 3 cubicles with basing on, inside.
What width are you?
We talked about is that maybe to extend this across to there.
Yeah, no, maybe it should be putting the basins here and it's longer.
Yes.
So,
I think maybe better to have the basins there,
mhm.
and then you have your drying.
Yeah, a lot of flooding. I still don't understand that thing, that last thing.
Tell you where it is. Next time I say it. Yeah.
Loads of places.
Everywhere.
Really
Even,
much better.
no, even if you go to, what is it, on the motorways, they've got the metal ones as well.
Where? What?
Motorways.
Metal ones as well.
Mhm. So basically, this is the.
Put a foot on top of the glass.
There's a sitting one.
There's only two.
There's 2 sitting, 4 standing, and then you have 3 basins in the cubicles.
Understand.
For the Jumas, they come, eh?
Yeah, Jumas, I know.
Most
I go
of
to
them are done with the home and stuff, they just pipe that, they can sit down, the other one.
Say it again.
So is it something to hang the coat?
Raise the feet up.
Yes.
They'll be hanging.
Don't take.
Where about they wipe
In the doors.
for those who-
Well, inside of the cubicles you have, and then outside, then we have to consider putting on the walls hangers.
No, I meant to hang the coat, yeah?
Yeah, hooks. Because the thing is, like, we have outside, we have a wardrobe,
Yeah.
but we were considering removing the wardrobe and putting more shoes. So we need to think where to allocate all the.
So the problem
Coats.
is that with regard to coats, you will not be keeping your expensive coats out there, right? So you have a separate space. We're talking about having it next to the lecture theatre. All the coats are in that.
No, it's like, I'm in a jacket, so when I go to do the, for example, I'm wearing a
Mhm.
jacket, I will not keep it outside because I've got stuff inside.
No,
right?
no, so
So
that-
normally just behind you.
Yeah, we'll be inside, yeah.
Because that's two token, that too. So one is where you keep your overcoats
Yeah,
separately,
that's fine.
and your immediate jacket. In this space, there'll be.
But the way they,
There will be some coat hangers.
Yes,
There
definitely.
should be some.
yeah, that's fine. You don't need
No,
much.
yeah.
When you're
For
not
4 people, what you can.
Yeah, that's fine. And you're gonna, where you gonna have the, you're gonna have the air?
Most of the time, the basement is -2, there will be a 24/7 man, not a person, 12/7 man. Person will take your coats and your umbrella and whatever. Huh?
We were considering, and this is one discussion we had, to have a proper like cloak room.
Yeah.
That should be-
Base minus
Yeah,
two.
and then it's only like if we adjust a bit the size of the beauty center, just a bit, to relocate something, to have a kind of a small space to put all the.
Go to that floor if you can, and we talked about it as well, and we decided that it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we decided that, you are thinking about here?
Yeah.
We decided we have it here.
If this was the option of having like open, but if you want to have a proper closed space, if we reconsider this dimension here, to convert maybe, for example, half of this in a cloakroom, with a proper like open space that you receive the people and you take the things and you hang everything. I think this type of building they should have something like this, because even for the people that is coming here, you can have rails outside, but at the end,
What about under the stairs?
no, because the thing is everything is open here.
Even the stairs are
Yeah, so you can. We were discussing that it can be that, but then you need someone sitting there controlling, but it looks more like temporal solution than the proper one.
But then you don't have it at the maisonette, right? The one where there is a ladies' prayer room.
Everybody's got to come down.
For the court.
Yeah. That's how it happens in open.
Most hotels is that way as well.
So it's fine, we have.
So
What else is left?
If we go to the woods, so basically it's this to the sides. If we want to go to this type of basins, or we go to this that is more standing, or then the accessories. If we go behind the mirror or not, then the design of the things is the same criteria. Rim-free toilets, sensor flush. Then we have the shower close to the toilets. Everything, all the taps. These are the basins inside of the cubicles. Everything is with sensor taps. And then we go to recessed, wall-mounted accessories, or behind the mirror. So then the Geo Center. In the first floor, we have the library and the Geo Center too.
How many items are left to do now? Youth center and all other?
I can do it quickly, but there are like 4 more spaces.
Let's move it. Shall we get it done in the next half an hour?
Okay, I can do it. Yeah. So basically, for the Geo Center, we want to keep it warm, but look more modern and fresh. So basically, we are gonna go for a carpet like with different tones of gray. It will be our design too. We will talk with the supplier. Then we will have timber ceiling, but we will do a nice combination of flattened with louvers and everything. And then we go to these colors. It's gray, but warmer, and then we will play with a nice furniture, modern, with a bit brighter. So this is the latest design that we didn't show you. So basically, it's having. So
the ceiling is similar to a sports hall.
this is not similar because at the end, the sports hall, you have long louvers in diagonal, and then you do a zigzag, and it's really continuous. It's the same repeated. In here, you have these shapes that they are matching, and then you transfer some of them in lines. And in between the lines, we will have the lighting. So you have a really dynamic ceiling that is moving, so it looks more. And then you have the carpet on the floor, and we will play with timber or color furniture, but to be more like a fresh.
Garden is on the left,
yeah, here you have the terrace, these are the streets, and then we have in here the glass partition to the library. So it looks modern, but warm and flexible.
It's too bright, actually.
But it's good. It's
Indian, yeah. No, it's too.
But it's well. You need to think about the big space. At the end, you are going to have a really big space. If everything is gray, it's going to be boring. Even we like gray. We have to, yeah.
This is nice. Color is good.
Yeah, it's very Indian color.
Today's,
That's why.
no, it's not Indian.
But then the room next door is the library, so it has to be also warm. So it's all the floor. In here we have some parts where the ceiling is concrete. So again, we are mixing the timber with the gray with the white, so it will be really like clean, soft. And then we will play with nice furniture, and we consider that will be nice to add some color. And for example, a color that is linked to the Geo Center because it's communicated visually. Here we are putting yellow, but could be whatever because yellow is nice with that. So if you have some kind of yellow chairs that they are similar to the yellow armchairs in the Geo Center, so everything is connected and visually works together. And also in this space, the lighting design is really important. So we have a combination of rails on the floor doing lines, some pending points, and some spots. So it's quite complex, but it works really good. And then the offices. So we are applying here like the modern and futuristic thing. So we go to really white and grays furniture and finishes, and then with really modern and fresh furniture, everything in white to be like bright. We are thinking on using same pattern that on the because at the end is where the managers are going to receive people. So the image of the screens on the windows will be applied on the carpet. So everything is linked. And then we are having like other type of ceilings for acoustic reasons. We like to apply like different textures. So this is the typical fiber, mineral fiber panels, but now they do in colors. So we can do a really light gray. So the light gray on the floor, light gray on the ceiling, and then the rest in white with white furniture could look like really, really nice. So I think for the south block, okay, and this is just for the back of the house. We have the stairs inside of the course are made in resins, but they are
You mean the secondary staircase?
the secondary stairs.
All the staircase.
Yeah, the ones that are open, they are in timber finish. The ones that are closed, we do a continuous effect, so it looks similar to the concrete. And then,
Goes on top of the existing concrete.
yeah, because the existing concrete is not finished, so we have to apply something on top. So you will see, no, the concrete, then with the gray stairs, and then the ceilings are metal, but you can open for maintenance. And then we have kitchens and other places like standard white tiles, but we will go to big formats to don't have that many joints. And then the toilets that they are around the building, that they are the public ones and also the disabled, we are considering concrete, and then we can apply the same terrazzo tile that in the showers, will be modern, and we can go, these are the options that they already are in the market. We have in the schedules this as a first option, but we really like this.
Really?
Yeah, this inox with this thing could look really, really modern, but this is up to you.
Just go back, just go back.
Wherever I've seen it, doesn't really look very
No,
nice.
because we've seen it in motorways.
Looks like a
What Victor's looking at it, what Victor's looking at it from contrast of light,
Yeah.
of colours, and the combination of the material. That's
Yeah.
what he's looking at it.
So if you have these terrazzo tiles on the walls,
Yeah.
combined with metal sanitaries can look really attractive, but this is not a big deal, so can we go to...
In Europe, I've seen it in Europe.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
No, it's without the seat.
without the seat, yeah.
Yeah, you said it.
No, but can be with the seats, can be with the seats.
No, you obviously can't see.
Yeah.
Unless you wash and wash.
So basically, the main thing is toilet and the basin can be like inox. For us, looks really attractive, but this is,
Personal choice.
yeah, exactly. So it's not a big thing.
Can I ask a question on the toilets?
Yeah.
So we put wall-hung toilets everywhere. In terms of durability for large volumes of people,
Mhm.
what's that like? Is it likely to break or?
Well, this is better.
Yeah.
This for sure is where they started like for industrial things, but now they became a piece of design too. So this works better. Also, the porcelains are forever. So it's like the system now, because also is without the ring free, so it's better for the water and everything. So
No, he's talking,
No, I'm
he's
talking
talking
about
about
support.
He's saying because
They
it's
like it to fall
cantilever,
off the wall.
it's not sitting on the wall,
Okay.
on the floor,
well,
it's standing.
this for maintenance, for durability, this is better because you don't have the structure on the wall. For cleaning, it's better when it's pending because you can clean underneath. So there are different reasons, but
Is this robust enough?
yeah. They all these things they always have a substructure. They never are attached with the wall. They have a metal.
I said for home it's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're using it 100 times a day.
No. But we even put it in stadiums. So there is also like a
And all that.
Within stadiums, it's fine.
yeah no because there is a metal structure behind the wall. Where you have the deposit, there's like a metal that is attached to the floor and to the real wall.
So you've used
In stadiums, yeah.
Shall I put the fear in your mind? I've just completed 135 flats. I would put them wall mounted, hanger. 20% of them we had to go back and change, and it's quite painful.
Mhm.
The tiles.
No, I'm not coming to you for doing
Yeah, let's take someone else to put their toilets.
You got 20% failure rate.
The experience is so painful
Yeah.
that you had to repair all the finishes
Yeah.
to get back to the support
how did you
and put them back
This is
again.
just
So the question is,
normal flats.
normal flats being used by
We have
residents.
had it in our house for 20 years.
No, hold on. What was the fault?
The fault is
How
one
did you know
question.
that?
Is you cannot be behind everybody. That is a fact.
But it's right, the way it's fitted,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
still
Well,
metal
So
structure.
20% failure rate on his workplace, he was not. You're not using it,
No,
right?
it's
So you're
honestly it's like
sort yourself out.
you.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have that in a public place.
Don't
In a
get
public
one of
place.
my toilets, you can jump on it 20 times.
You couldn't have.
That's it.
You
No,
couldn't
you
have.
can't have a look. Really.
No, but just have a look now. You go to all the airports are wall mounted. The stadiums now they are the ones we are doing in Qatar is wall mounted. We are working for the national stadium for the Qatar 2020. and everything is what?
But that hasn't been
Qatar.
There's no point
2022.
in football.
Yeah, the football. No, and the thing is like,
Are you getting free tickets?
eh?
Can I have some tickets,
Yeah.
please?
We are not involved in that, but we can try. No, but yeah, it depends of the cistern you select, the substructure, and it's like the carpet, depending of the use, and they have a different way of installing, and you have to make sure that they are putting in the right way. The product is done to work, it's to make sure that they install in the way they have to do it.
Just that you're taking things to the limit. In other words, you're almost allowing yourself, I wouldn't say zero tolerance of inaccuracy, but you're taking it almost to the limit. Whereas the other one is floor mounted, so the weight is on the floor. It's not.
No, for sure. No, that's for sure. But then we have another input there, is the cleaning. All the cleaning companies and all the facility managers, they want the wall mounted because then it's faster to clean and it's easier to clean, and you clean much more surface than when it's there because you are creating corners. In here, it's like an open surface.
Yeah, I get
So you.
That's more.
But basically, it's your choose. For us, we can find a model that works perfectly. South block. In here is quite fast. So same criteria for the basic materials. So we like the concrete and the combination with the timber because it's warm. But then we have to consider the scale to provoke ownership of the project. We want the kids to know that it's a kids building. So we work with the scale, we do the smaller things, so they are in a kids world. And also color. In here we need to introduce some color, maybe not yellow, but some other colors to motivate the kids. So circulations are exactly the same. We are gonna have concrete, we are gonna have the timber, but the proportion is gonna be opposite. We have more concrete than timber maybe in the north block. In here, we're going to have more timber than concrete because it has to be like more kids friendly. Then the main space. The main space, all the floor in timber. In here, we have to consider also who is going to operate this if we have all these children facilities, the playground, because maybe they have some requirements. Maybe they go for like this soft flooring. So it's something that we need to know at some point. But if not, the general circulation of the main roof, the timber. Then we have the balcony, that we can do something similar to this because we have this round balcony where we can be a kind of table where the parents, they sit. Instead of having tables around, we have a long bar where they can sit in stools watching the kids. So they use the handrail like as a table. And then we have acoustic ceiling also. We need to choose the design if we go to those or whatever. And in here we have to play with colorful and really like funny shapes furniture because we like the contrast in between the pure and simple gray, white, and warm with strong colors and shapes for the furniture. Kids' bathroom, the same. Has to be something similar to the other building. They need to feel that it's like the older people bathroom, but at the same time, they need to know that they are their bathrooms. So we go to small sanitaries, so for the size of the kids, and we go to brighter colors. In here, what we need to discuss is the age of the kids you consider they are going to be there for two reasons. One is for the scale of that, because if we go for kids of 9 years old and we put a toilet like this, doesn't work. And also because depending of the age, the professionals, they say like it's better to have open toilets because the parents, they are going to control them, or they have their own cubicles. So depending with that, we need to close the design. Basically, also, we need to decide which colors we want. If we want the typical blue, baby blue and pink, or we want something more funky and we go to red or strong colors. And at the end, there is few options for the sanitary to make a really nice modern space. They have really cute sanitary for kids. Floor standing, they have also wall standing, and we can go to more silly things like the taps, like toys. But this is something that we can decide later. And at the end, at the last floor, we have the party rooms. They are going to be quite transparent because it's also good to control what's going on there. But then inside, basically, we are going to have timber floor everywhere. And then we are going to work with this fiber ceiling, but then each room in a different color that we can choose. So you will see like a colorful ceiling. And even we have white walls. We are considering that these walls should be like white boards, so the kids, they can paint directly on the walls, like a big space, you can put everything. And again, furniture. There's a lot of nice furniture, really modern design. We will also like to design something for the building with bright colors.
Just one second, elephant and giraffe. You must give us, who's setting up a nursery? Who's refurbishing a nursery?
So, and I think that's it. So, yeah, sure.
Because I didn't look to the security, because nowadays, because what's happening,
Yeah.
what kind of secure like that you're having outside?
In terms of what? Security of
Security of the premises.
basically is you have a